All right, Erica Lorraine Spencer here. It's 12:33 p.m. It's Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. I did just capture two videos. One specifically capturing a third-party group stalker, the people of the state acting through this individual who was merely in close quarters. Understand, the people of the state are also caught in video patrolling in traffic, and the people of the state are always surrounding inconspicuously where I cannot see them. They maintain group presence in concert with the entity that is group stalking by planes, helicopters, police, fire, and ambulance. And so what I captured in video is the third party engaged in group stalking, engaged in what is legally defined as surveillance, acting vicariously on behalf of the entity, while it is engaged in aiming its light source, which is the fake sun, directly over the location on the property of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, by the way, and what is the state's directed light. The state, as I described in my video, engaged in ongoing activity creation. Understand the significance of what I'm documenting. It's called activity creation for purposes of monitoring with communication devices. That's what the state is doing. That's what I documented that the state was doing while I was inside of a private space at Economy Inn. It is all serving that monitoring purpose, activity creation. So this is what you have with the state that is creating vibration as I am on the grounds of the Ontario Museum. Understand, the train is not causing vibrations. The street on Emporia, which is the back street behind the museum, does not vibrate when the train is in motion. The grass does not vibrate when the train is in motion. Traffic, meaning third parties that are patrolling on Euclid Avenue, there's no volume of their music nor amplification that the state creates as they are playing music, or the state's literally playing a tape of what's supposed to be a third party playing loud music. None of those methods are going to result in what is vibration of the ground, which is sensational activity. That's concerted conduct while the third parties intentionally maintain presence. And again, the entity that is monitoring is operating under the guises that the people provide. So, for example, as I've already shown, the people are engaged in concerted conduct. They're maintaining presence. And so you're supposed to assume, all right, I'm breaking down what the criminal system looks like. You're supposed to assume that those are headlights that are molesting your person as a third party is driving past or driving in your direction. And either way it goes, it's concerted conduct. You're being touched by an instrument of criminal conduct, and third parties are intentionally present, and third parties are not ignorant of the fact that the state is aiming light, which the state is always directing light, by the way. And so that is that which is occurring at all times. Want to be clear, I've also established that. But this is the concerted conduct and how the entity acts in concert with the people. The people are providing the guises under which it's called subterfuge. It's called form. It's called implausible. It's called within the pattern of conduct. And so it is that which is established. And so there is, and that's just an example at the museum, the train used as a means of its audible activity. So not only is it monitoring, it's used as the guise under which the ground is supposed to be vibrating. The same with third parties that are patrolling in traffic. That's supposed to be the guise under which the ground is vibrating. Implausible, okay? But also that which is not. It's even if it were occurring under some, say I'm standing right next to the train tracks, and you could say, oh, well, it is possible maybe that you might feel some vibration. Understand, it is still serving monitoring purposes where you have established the state's pattern of conduct, criminal pattern of conduct for monitoring, okay? All you're doing is establishing that pattern of conduct, and you are seeing how the state is able to systematically monitor you at all places and at all times. And it is merely a method of, a series of ongoing, ceaseless methods of engaging in that same criminal pattern of conduct over and over and over again. So this is what the state has been engaged in, while the state is also loitering in relevant position at this facilitating venue of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, maintaining presence of working on the grounds at the museum. The state was literally, second by second. First it's the airplanes, and then the next second it is literally the helicopter, which is combined with the sound of the train. Understand, the state manufactures the sound of the train. This train sound that's blowing in the background, it is that which is literally occurring as I make any moves. It is also used to cover up the sound of the helicopter. And so the train is both monitoring, it is also seeking to conceal what the state, I guess, doesn't want me to. I have hundreds of videos of the state stalking visually in helicopters. But the state uses the sound of the train to cover up the sound of a helicopter, and then as the helicopter is right here at close proximity, which is also perceived by the volume. It is extraordinarily loud all of a sudden, and the train stops blowing and the helicopter flies directly over. This is all audible activity. I'm just speaking to the methods of trying to conceal the presence of the helicopter and the desire. Understand, this is Satan using a helicopter to engage in targeting. Okay, this is the context. This is literally Satan that's flying these aircrafts and operating over these people. That's the state, that's the government that's flying the helicopter. Understand, but this is Satan under the context, engaging in none other than an insatiable desire to just fly over in a helicopter, because that's literally all that the state does, and it does so at the moment that I'm falling asleep. And so there's some twisted satisfaction from that, because that's what the state is engaging in. Understand, it's for purposes of monitoring. It's audible activity. This is always ongoing, but the state used it at that moment. I'm speaking last night as well, for purposes of just disturbing my sleep as I'm in the midst of falling asleep. The helicopter comes out of nowhere, flying over, acting in concert with the sound of the train. All right, and this is what the state was doing this morning, loitering on the grounds of the museum. There is no job or any claim of legitimacy under the state's pattern of conduct of monitoring. You are in relevant position. You are representing the people of the state, either as a private individual or as a commercial actor, or as some municipality engaging in the same criminal pattern of conduct. Understand, it is the same entity. And so while they are present on the grounds, the state is using second by second the sound of the train at the same time that the helicopter is heard, quote unquote, in the distance. And then you have what is the train continuously blowing, and then all of a sudden the helicopter heard very, very loudly flying directly over this museum grounds. That is a strategic use of the sound of a train. Understand, this is also the state that is strategically using that which it is artificially engineering the sound of a train. Okay, and why? Because it is opportunistic. I'm right here where the museum is, and there happens to be a train track. And so this is also why you have what is the hyper use of the train. Okay, this same train is that which the state used, as you listen to my podcast from 2019. You're hearing loud train activity while I'm in the car at Fern and G. You're not going to hear that while I'm living in my car at Vine and G Street. All right, while I am inside of the private residence of Woodside Senior Apartments. That is not train activity. That's the state artificially engineering that sound, keeping me surrounded. It's called activity creation. Okay, and so again, this is a guise under which the state is engaging in activity creation. And this is the video that I captured. Again, he is just representing what the people are engaged in on a ceaseless basis, maintaining presence in traffic. Understand, it is operating under the pattern of conduct of group stalking and monitoring by the government. And so they maintain presence while the state uses that visual guise as the means of what is supposed to be ongoing loud traffic that is used to stalk with activity. So literally the sound of what's very loud engine or music, which is also occurring with sensational activity. None of this is actually what is naturally occurring. Under no circumstances is any vehicle creating a vibration on the grounds of the museum. All right. But like I'm stating, this is how that concerted conduct acts together. The people maintain presence. The state acts pursuant to that. The government's presence is supposed to be non-existent. They are vicariously acting on behalf of that entity. That's the concerted conduct. And so they are maintaining in that regard. Understand, driving past, this is a visual of how the people of the state of California engage in surveillance, because that's what they're doing. This is a visual of how the people of the state of California engage in group stalking, because that is what they are doing. That's what they are accomplishing. And by the way, the direct evidence of that is, again, the state's fake sun, which is directly over the museum, literally over the side that I am on at the property. And this is, again, directly relevant to the compilation of documentation showing the state's conduct with this light source, which is not the sun, speaking to what the people of the state are engaged in, which is monitoring. Light being central to that. Not only the state's fake sun above my head, but then the state surrounding with directed light, molesting with light, while the people of the state maintain presence. It is concerted conduct through and through. And so this is the significance of what I captured on video. And then I did capture a second video just so that you can see the state's fake sun squarely above my head. And I want to be clear, when I was walking from 2301 South Euclid Avenue, Economy Inn, and I'm walking north up Euclid Avenue, the state's fake sun, where I was not even at the museum yet, 12:30, I was still traveling up Euclid Avenue, not here at this location yet, but you have what is, again, even that bit of documentation is mutually incompatible, impossible to coexist with the state's fake sun being squarely over me, over the corner of the property where I am physically located at the museum, whereas where I captured it as I am leaving the museum on May 1st, 2021 at 12:30, I was nowhere near the museum yet. I was still walking up Euclid Avenue, documenting Amazon Prime, documenting the people of the state individually engaging in P.O.C. as they're crossing path, documenting Alaska Airlines, Southwest Airlines, Delta Airlines flying over my head, acting in concert with the state. I was not yet at the museum. This is impossible to coexist. I did capture video of what is the state's fake sun as I arrived at this location of the museum, again, which was not over the corner of the building. But again, the state's fake sun has been captured over at the same location. Again, pay attention to my documentation. I've already captured this. 7 a.m. in the morning at that same location, right where I captured it, over the corner where I'm located. It's at the same location where I've captured it in the morning. 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so like I said, this is that which I've already captured. It's already established, and with regard to what the people of the state are doing, and that which is impossible to be the sun, and this is just based on the plain stalking conduct with the light source, and this is why it is impossible for the state to be consistent with its light source, which is supposed to be the sun, because it's not the actual sun. The state is stalking with this light source, and this is how you're easily. This is how I'm able to demonstrate and expose how this is not possibly the sun. In these locations at these times remaining for the duration that it is, over a span of years, by the way, as well, and that which is in direct conflict. And so this is direct evidence against the people of the state. This is speaking to that which is occurring under the pattern of conduct of stalking by the state. The criminal use of emergency vehicles to monitor an American citizen is that which is also applied to what the people of the state are engaged in concert with that entity. The state engaging in sounding its sirens repeatedly while I remain at this venue under the state's fake sun. That is the state acting directly, engaged in criminal monitoring, engaged in criminal facilitation, engaged in what is that of a psychopath, all right? Using those vehicles as a means of monitoring an American citizen while that psychopath is literally listening to word by word everything that I am saying, all right? So you're not only, again, like I'm saying, not only analyzing the conduct it's monitoring, you're analyzing the state of mind, the knowledge that they have. They're literally listening to every word that I utter while they're engaging in the criminal conduct, in no way conflicting with what it is providing actually additional evidence against the people of the state, the vicarious actor that's monitoring with it on the traffic cameras as you are looking at them at Euclid and HOLT Boulevard. That's P.O.C. That's audible activity under the state's fake sun. It's currently 12:46 p.m. and that's what the state has been doing. All of that context is added to what the people of the state are doing in relevant position on the traffic cameras at Euclid and HOLT Boulevard in the city of Ontario. It is May 4th, 2021, and this is while they are driving in traffic. Like I said, nothing is ordinary under the state's criminal pattern of conduct of monitoring. They are doing so while the state is group stalking in the manner that you just heard, repeatedly sounding sirens, audible activity, repeatedly group stalking via helicopter, audible activity, repeatedly group stalking as planes are flying over them, and while you don't see that on the traffic cameras, but that's what they're doing. It is the intentional maintenance of group presence, and it is also surveillance by the people of the state. And that's direct evidence going toward every documented actor within that one group. It is one group monitoring together, engaged in group stalking, engaged in surveillance, engaged in harassment, and all the ways in which they have done so: physical violence, sexual violence, corporate invasion of privacy. And this is the P.O.C. That is, I'm Erica Lorraine Spencer. It's 12:47 p.m. That's the museum. That's a UPS plane flying directly over. It's 12:49 p.m. All right, 1:06 p.m. I did capture what is the state's fake sun. Again, moving from the opposite side as I go to Emporia. It's on the opposite side, right over as I stand over my head as I'm standing at the railroad tracks. Understand, this is ongoing migration of the light source, okay? Plane flies directly over the museum now. It's an all-white plane with a blue tip on the tail, flying what is west and then making a sharp turn. It's remaining in relevant position. State's fake sun directly over my head. 6 VOL 163 group stalking in their car. 5 VCD 684, group stalking, crossing path, and 8 PTN 608, as I captured on video, group stalking. The state's fake sun is over my head while they are surrounding. 150 East HOLT, that's the Ontario Health Center. Understand the state's fake sun captured over that building. I've already done all of this. I'm showing you what is the absolute legal irrelevance of any uniform you're wearing, of any job that you are engaged in, of any age or race, or the guise under which, in other words, that you are in relevant position, engaging in presence on behalf of the government that is operating this monitoring system, okay? This is the people of the state of California engaged in group stalking and that which is surveillance. They are also sex offenders. Understand, it is absolutely intentional to stalk with a light source, and this is an instrument of criminal conduct with which you are molesting. That is the ongoing violation of the persons for a criminal purpose, okay, including Amazon Prime. All right, on traffic cameras right now, 8MST352 drives by me in the parking lot. Amazon Prime driving north on Euclid Avenue at 1:08 p.m. A sex offender. I've already heavily documented them. Want to be clear, this is all that the people of the state are engaged in. The state is a sex offender. The state is already identified. This is the state's pattern of conduct. The people of the state are engaging in that sexual violence, engaging in that group stalking, engaging in that surveillance with the state, okay? That's P.O.C. And it is 1:08 p.m. That's another white plane. That is a blue bottom of the plane with a white tail and a blue tip. Okay, so this is a different plane doing the same thing, flying west and making a sharp turn over the museum, remaining in relevant position, extraordinarily loud activity that is being amplified. Okay, this is P.O.C. All right, and understand it's not heard until it's right here over the museum property. That is, again, the manufactured audible activity. You can see it flying, you don't hear anything, and then the state starts playing its tape. Okay, this is what they are all engaged in surrounding the building while I'm at the museum. The state's fake sun over my head, moving as I go to Emporia over my head. Now I'm at Transit over my head. While you are in relevant position, you're monitoring, and you're a sex offender on those grounds as well. The state is a sex offender on many different accounts, okay? Aside from actually engaging in physical sexual violence, the criminal pattern of conduct is inherently sexually violent group conduct as well, okay? Omnitrans driving north, Route 87, in relevant position, acting with every other third party who's in traffic in relevant position, which the state controls the traffic lights. The state is using its light source over my head while I'm standing here, and this is P.O.C. Again, what are you going to recently? Well, the totality of the documentation shows the impossibility of what is this light source above my head, and so this is directly speaking to every documented actor, which is the single group, okay? The people of the state, again, as readily prosecuted as the state entity itself, the public entity, the state of California. But the people of the state, as I am specifically identifying them, they are directly engaging in what is intentional presence, where there is a light source above you in this regard. This is the absence of coincidence. It is intentionality that is reasonably deduced in every single way. Okay, it's the absence of coincidence. Oh, good. It was another medical worker. She's a overweight, heavy-set female with a ponytail. She's got on, looks like teal green scrubs and white, pink, and peach shoes. She's got, she's the one that's loitering in relevant position, sitting in license plate 6VOL163, where the state's fake sun is directly over me, where she is sitting in her car. That's the absence of coincidence. Another medical worker. Understand, these are the same. This is the same trade, the same medical field, where they're engaged in kidnapping and sexual violence, engaged in criminal defamation, and that is license plate 096ZY. When I was kidnapped inside of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, the medical workers were engaging in criminal defamation, engaging in kidnapping with the intent to obstruct justice, which is why they were engaging in P.O.C. on a systematic basis, fully aware of the fact that they were engaging in the criminal seizure and maintenance of that, monitoring me under that state, and for that purpose of keeping me kidnapped, okay? I want to be clear, 6VOL163, creating audible activity intentionally. She had already left her car as I'm reciting to you what she's wearing. She sounds her alarm as I cross the street to read the other third party's license plate. The nurses that are sitting in their cars engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. Nurses, medical workers, whatever you want to call them. They're criminals just wearing a certain type of outfit. That's how how they're going to be treated under federal law. It doesn't matter what your job is. Understand this is the guise under which a public entity is monitoring. And you have absolutely no credibility whatsoever sitting, standing, walking, talking, driving under a fake sun. This is P.O.C. All right. And she intentionally uses her alarm for purposes of keeping me surrounded with activity as I cross the street, the simultaneity with which she does so. OK, that's a psychopath who engages in the pattern of conduct with knowledge of the fact that I am identifying her as an actor. She is monitoring and was listening to me the entire time she's monitoring. She's sitting in her car and the state is flying over repeatedly in airplanes. The state's fake sun is directly over where I'm standing in front of her car. The state is engaging and following me with its fake sun as I'm at the museum, as I go to the back street, as I come forward to transit. This is inevitably P.O.C., and that's the malice with which the people engage in conduct. Understand that's a threat where you are creating that audible activity, everything that she intentionally engaged in. This is a communication of hostility. Understand that. Not only is it the P.O.C., that's how they communicate their hostility as they are monitoring the documentation, the evidence of their criminal conduct. All right. And that is one wearing a scrubs uniform. It does not matter what you are wearing. This is what I'm speaking to. License plate 7NKP054 P.O.C. And they're all monitoring inside of the Ontario Health Center in relevant position. All right. So the state's fake sun continues to remain above my head as I walk what is east on Holt Boulevard. Again, earlier than the time that I was when I was walking north on Euclid Avenue, and the state's fake sun after remaining planted over the venue 2301 South Euclid Avenue, 2 months. Right. And then it's not there anymore. I clearly documented it migrating, remaining directly above my head as I walk north on Euclid Avenue. And this is also following months and months of documentation as the state engaged in this conduct that it is doing now, remaining directly over my head, irrespective of any direction that I go, as it has been captured at every single venue that I've already published, remaining at those properties. And then as I travel to those properties, as I go to different locations at different times of the day, and that light source is remaining squarely over my head. All right. So this is the ongoing direct evidence against the people of the state, the vicarious actor, because that is the significance of stalking with a light source. This is also demented, demonic conduct. These are psychopaths engaging in what is a criminal, it's a system operated by the government, but this is that which is demonic activity before your very eyes, okay? Or before your very ears if you're listening on the podcast. 8MVA 659, 8EWA 875, 7FJT 847, 7MAR 246, 7VSM 231, 8JTW 275, 5UTE 686, 7NHM 930, 8FEZ 234, 5LH 7652, I believe, 8D55 930, 4YPL 646, 8JDT 442, 8N 78500, Group Stalking sitting in their car in relevant position, the state flying directly over this area, and state's fake sun as I move. 7KLC 776. In case I didn't read that one already. There's Group Stalking sitting in the car in the carport area for the Ontario Health Center area. 8UGW 685, 528MUT 5WNC 162, 7CYY 656. 4RSX 157, 7WTC 750, 7HQU 367, 5PEV 892. Group stalker also sitting in her car in relevant position. This might be the one that I read already. Yeah, she crosses path driving onto Lemon and then onto Transit, and she parks at the carport. This is 8JTW 275. 8TQR 872. OLPAPER. Let's see. 4WH 137. 396NU. That's a handicap plate. 5TMB 945 6XOT 078. It is currently 1:17 p.m. State's fake sun directly over my head as I am at Plum and Transit. Right? You recall this is already documented. So this is the totality of that picture, which I stated at that time. I don't understand what this, but you're talking about an entity that has no argument. Literally. City of Ontario following me around to this end of the intersection from Emporia now to Plum, sitting in the middle of the street. The same license plate that I already read. Group stalking. This is maintaining presence of the path. They just drive to the opposite end of the drive of the Emporia Street. Knowledge of where I'm going. State's fake sun over my head. License 67432D2. Again, that's City of Ontario. Vehicles number 4143 and 4130. The license plate of 4143 1416308. License of 4130 is 1303268. Group stalking as I go to the opposite end of the street so they can cross paths. The state's fake sun is directly over my head. Okay, I'm facing Center I.I.S Arena. 6 UMF 966. Psychopath. That's what psychopaths do. Oh, I'm driving around. I'm looking for something, and a fake sun is over your head. Yeah, I don't think so. That's the state flying over by helicopter. That's a small tail. It's a very thin tail. Looks like the Ontario Fire Department. It's a red helicopter. There's no fire over here flying parallel to Emporia. That's the state group stalking. 6EQS281. Providing ongoing direct evidence of what the people of the state are engaged in. So I'm going to continue to recite license plates representing third parties as I remain subject to monitoring as I'm walking. License plate 33164C3. It's currently 1:19 p.m. where I'm standing at Center I.I.S at 201. All right, and I did just take a picture of where I'm standing. I'm standing in front of Center I.I.S and the state's fake sun squarely over me on the sidewalk where I'm standing. Where that red helicopter is, that's the state flying. So I'm going to read these license plates. 7UCP043, 7NHP660. State sounding plane activity, that's UPS. Again, moving back as I move back, not flying toward the museum, stopping over here, flying parallel to the ice skating arena. This group stalker comes out of the building to sit in her car, starts her ignition. She's in loitering in relevant position while the state is over my head as I'm standing behind her vehicle in relevant position, and the state is also creating plane activities, clearly stalking in a plane. She is in vehicle 8SZM010. Okay, and she does this as I begin to take a picture of the fake sun directly over. Okay, I did go ahead and take a picture of that, and this is the monitoring that is systematically engaged in. She just steps out. Understand, she's giving you the sample of what they're all engaged in. It is the absence of coincidence. All right, I took more pictures of that. You can see her vehicle. She's getting in her car, getting in position. The state is flying over in that red helicopter that I was reciting. State's over my head at the sidewalk where I'm standing. She gets in her car. The state flies over in another UPS plane again, and I'm describing what is the stalking conduct with the planes. Not in any way going forward, proceeding toward the museum where it was flying, where I was standing relative to me. Now that I'm back here at the skate arena, flying right here in relevant position. This is a paper plate, BK57R64. 8LPA085. And it is 1:22 p.m. KMN681. That's the license plate. And on the opposite end of this parking lot at the back, there is a male in looks like a gray Toyota Camry. And he is in a 4-door sedan. Understand, he's in relevant position as well. He is group stalking, standing outside of the car under the fake sun. Understand, the state's fake sun is directly over me where I am standing behind 8KMN681. He is maintaining presence in the path where the state was also flying over in a UPS plane. And the state's fake sun is directly over this location as I am looking at him. In the same way as the group stalker comes out of the skate skating rink, sits in her car while the state's fake sun is directly over her as I'm capturing it because I'm standing in front of her. That's P.O.C. while I am engaging in moving. Third parties maintain ongoing group knowledge of where I am going, and this is the maintenance of in the path. That's called group stalking. Okay? That's what group stalking is. Making sure they remain present in the path. Listen to that plane activity. That's Southwest Airlines. And that's called audible activity. All right. It is 1:23 p.m. (5ZGC 930). In case I did not read that one already. All right. And as I have already thoroughly documented, they are indeed monitoring inside of B&G Plaza. That's Andy's Burgers. Everybody in the drive-through, which is a matter of documentation on their own surveillance cameras. Third party moving out as I got ASZM010 now exiting out the parking lot after Southwest provides additional audible activity, and she was loitering under the state's fake sun that was directly over me as I stood in front of her car, and she's crossing path again. That is 8FLK261, group stalking, sitting in their car. (8RYW083), 8FTT474, 8KIL755, group stalking, sitting in their car. And this is license plate 8PMP032. It's 1:24 p.m. All right, just giving you a visual so you can see. This is that ongoing group conduct and the direct evidence against the people. The state, the impossibility of what is not the sun. That is remaining over my head as I'm encountering what are group stalkers maintaining presence in the path, group stalking in their vehicles, which is a heavily documented method of maintaining presence in the path, chiefly because I walk around. And so group stalkers remain in their vehicles in order to maintain presence. And I'm literally capturing them while they are doing so under a fake sun. 7FAM4EV. This is license plate 6RZV447, 5XUZ610. I think I got that one. 7FBJ003, 8DHH751, 16813D3. 7TQT803. Group stalking, sitting in her car. BPO8. I'm sorry. Let's start again. BP06H69. That's a paper plate. It's 1:26 p.m. And I want to show you as I turn the corner to enter the plaza. Group stalker turns the corner. This is license plate 2XKV725. Paper plate BD61E35 turns the corner as I stop in the parking lot. That's a red Toyota Camry with that paper plate. And that is, as I change functions on my phone to go to the camera, turning around the corner. This is all under the cameras that are in operation in the parking lot. I want to be clear. And that is the state's fake sun, as it is no longer in front of, over me inside of the parking lot of the I.I.S skating center. This is the ongoing migration east, remaining squarely over my head as I am encountering third-party group stalkers. 5JYU826, 7YWR584, 7GVY073, 6RVP995, 8MZJ976. And again, it's 1:27 p.m. This is B&G Plaza, where I'm documenting P.O.C. State's fake sun is present over the venue. Monitoring inside of Ultra personnel. This is inside of B&G Plaza. Monitoring and Ultra personnel is at Suite 326 inside of the venue. Monitoring license plate 5GZA651. License 808XD. That's a handicap plate. License 4XTB526. Monitoring inside of, what is this? Mommy and Me. That's also a business inside of the same plaza. Monitoring at Andy's Burgers. Monitoring inside of Metro. Monitoring inside of, what is the barber shop? Suite B, monitoring. And this is what I'm going to show you as I walk through the plaza. It is 1:28 p.m. So I just walked through the plaza, which is walking back west, and the State's Fake Sun is directly over here. I'm going to go ahead. All right, so as I walk back, and by back I mean after having left what is across the street, the center, the ice skating center, I'm walking east on transit. Okay, so I walk into the B&G Plaza, I'm getting license plate, and I walk under the shaded walkway, and I'm reading you the names of the businesses, all of them engaged in monitoring with the state. Loitering in relevant position, they are vicariously present on behalf of the state. They are not present as an individual on the job. They are present in relevant position on behalf of the government that's monitoring, and the State's Fake Sun is over their venue. And I captured again as I walk through. This is the State's Fake Sun back moving west to be directly in alignment to me as I walk through that area. This is license plate 7ZFK799 in relevant position on the opposite side of the street where I was at the skating rink, and the state was flying over as I resided in a Delta airline plane. This vehicle is a means of crossing path on the opposite side of the street. She is driving in this vehicle, and it will be seen on the cameras as well at the same time. In addition to the third party that I documented sitting in the parking lot, as I stated, she comes out to sit in the parking lot. State's Fake Sun were directly over her car, which I captured in pictures. What I'm letting you know, what was also occurring across the street was this one, 7ZFK799, in relevant position directly across the street from me inside of B&G Plaza parking lot at the same time that the UPS plane was flying in direct location over that skating rink parking lot, creating audible activity and making a sharp turn to remain in relevant position while I was standing under the Fake Sun. And this is the State's Fake Sun, no longer again on that opposite side of the skating rink. It is right here where I am inside of the B&G Plaza relative to where I'm standing, and that's what I captured in pictures. This is it's a Mini Cooper. It's a cream colored Mini Cooper with, again, license plate 7ZFK799. That's just an example of the group conduct that the people of the state engage in concert with the state. And speaking to what is outside of what you're looking at, relevant positioning spans beyond what you are looking at immediately. 7KXM317, 5WSB144, 8CYD021, in case I didn't read that one already. It is currently 1:31 p.m. And as I've already shown, an ample documentation of the State's Fake Sun remaining directly over me again. This is already published documentation. And this is the documentation of third parties engaging in P.O.C. Now, as I'm on the move, that's called group stalking. Remaining where I remain is called surveillance, which the people of the state of California, as I continue to document them, to be directly prosecuted for that, acting in concert vicariously on behalf of that state. Using their vehicle as a means of light activity as I'm walking on the sidewalk inside of the plaza, license 6SNJ332. That's called activity creation. That's called group stalking maintenance in the path with activity. License 7ZDZ684, 8NNR029, 8GYM159. License 8VJV056, 6NZV265, 7BSP540. It is 1:32 p.m. and as I walk back to the opposite end, I'm going to take a picture of what is the State's Fake Sun now, again, on the opposite side of the same parking lot. All right. It is. I want to get that audible activity. All right, group stalkers walking in the parking lot in relevant position. Group stalker 8VJV056 driving vehicle as a means of light. The same license plate 2XKV725 loitering in relevant position on the opposite side of the dumpster, crossing path. And as I take a picture of what is the State's Fake Sun on the opposite side of the building, this is the state's light source moving east and west and east again. Understand that as I walk to both sides of the parking lot. They are engaged in monitoring. The state immediately flies a plane, which you are listening to the audible activity of, which I took a picture of. While they are maintaining presence walking in the parking lot in relevant position and surrounding 8VJV056 on my right side, and the license plate of the small black BMW that started with I believe 2XK, or the license plate that I recited, on my opposite side. Again, those are third parties that are in motion. Okay, they are remaining in alignment to me as they are inside of the businesses. I just want to be clear. Those two license plates are the ones that are in motion, moving around me while the state is flying over me, and the State's Fake Sun as I capture in picture. License 7ZVV676. All right, that's P.O.C. And this is license plate CDP 4592, that's an Arizona license plate driven by African American male. 5NXV 437, 8FED 335, 7MVZ 377, 7RKJ 581, DXMXNTZ, sitting in their cars, group stalking. And let me show you what is the fake sun while I'm standing now in the B&G Plaza nearest the beauty salon, the Clinica Medica California, and the state's fake sun over me at that location. Okay, as I have already captured in my documentation, again, the state's fake sun captured over this same plaza early in the morning in the location that I'm capturing over the B&G Plaza sign, for example. It's where it likes to be cozy right there as I arrive at the plaza. And I just want to be clear, the state is following with a light source. So depending on the direction that I'm walking, that's the path that the state follows with regard to remaining over me. And again, this is shown where I go a lot to the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, depending on if I walk down Euclid Avenue, north up Euclid Avenue to the library, or if I go through the parking lot, going down Plum to go through the parking lot of the City Hall. The state's fake sun remains over my head in that regard. This is a totally different path of this light source. As I walk through the parking lot, I take transit to the B&G Plaza. State's fake sun is not over the B&G Plaza sign. Not only is that indicative of the stalking conduct, but it is also that which is remaining in the afternoon as I've captured it early in the morning. License 7MWZ 730, crossing path. And again, these are all the ways in which you're identifying what is stalking with light, okay? That's the state manufacturing the sound of a loud vehicle while the people of the state maintain presence on the street. It's supposed to be the guise under which their cars are making loud noises. It's pursuant to a behavioral pattern, it's audible activity, and it is occurring under a fake sun. It is P.O.C. regardless. I'm just letting you know how the entity, this is demonic conduct, engages in concerted conduct with the people of the state. All right. This is the presence of, again, what I took pictures of. Again, my point is that the state's fake sun, 8LRW333, light activity in a Hyundai Palisade, light activity using their vehicle and doing so under the state's fake sun in the parking lot. The picture of what I'm taking is as I walk down transit toward the parking lot of the B&G Plaza, then I walk back west on the opposite side to recite the names of the businesses engaged in P.O.C, and then I walk again back to the opposite direction, which is going east, then going west, then going east again, and the state's fake sun captured on both sides. I'm showing you a picture of what is the ongoing migration. I've already demonstrated this. This is going to the prosecution of the people of the state. There is no question as to what they are engaged in. The state's pattern of conduct is already established. You've got an aged Latina female. It does not matter what your race is, does not matter what language you speak. The state has created the environment whereby all they have to do is maintain presence, and she comes out to start her ignition, engaging in movement, which is crossing path. Again, that's license 7MVZ 377. If she is not an American citizen, she's worthy of being deported. All right, that is license plate 7JXR329, 7DTY872, 7HCM281, 40579T2, 54190L1. It is currently 1:37 p.m. And the locations where the state's fake sun is supposed to be at this time is already established as a matter of documentation, and it is that which does not change. It is the record that the state is tied to, and that is direct evidence against the people of the state acting with it. All right, and so it is 1:37 p.m. I'm at SCHIRO'S Liquor, located at 410 Holt Boulevard in Ontario, California. And the state's fake sun is here in direct conflict, for example, with being over 435 South Bonneview over the property, where the state is also stalking by planes and helicopters, by the way, and police, fire, and ambulance. And group stalking by the people of the state who are under that fake sun over that property at the same time. And also before this time and after this time, where it is remaining over my head right now at SCHIRO'S Liquor at 410 East Holt Boulevard. Also 2301 South Euclid Avenue, Economy Inn, remaining over the roof of my room at this time, as I have captured it in video after video and pictures, in addition to the light activity, which the state could only argue, which it is no argument, but the only thing that you can claim is that that's because the sun is there, which it is not. But that's the only thing that you could try to attribute that to 5XGT814. And so that's a license plate of a third-party crossing path in this parking lot. And so this is P.O.C. period. And you literally have the blatant, raw, exposed criminal conduct of the people of the state fully shown as it is, which was my goal when I started documenting what was the light activity, because that is central to the monitoring, and it is also speaking to what the people are engaged in. Not only am I documenting their engagement in the elements, I'm speaking to the environment that is created for their purpose of being able to monitor with that state. And this is fully every single aspect of the case. Again, like I said, it was already complete in the beginning of March of 2021, like I stated. This is the ongoing bare bones engagement in criminal conduct by the people of the state. I already read this license plate. They're engaging in what is crossing a path. And if they're not American citizens worthy of being deported, 40579T2. This is P.O.C. Fake son over me, fake son following everywhere I go, speaking directly to what the people of the state are engaged in. The state following everywhere that I go. That is also the evidence against the people of the state in relevant position as I encounter them and document them. That is P.O.C. ABC Supply Company 8491W2. That's the commercial actor. That's P.O.C. creating activity using the truck, light activity as a cross path, audible activity as a cross path in that large truck. That's all intentional conduct. License plate 8SLU216. 7AEJ115. Understand the implications of this. They are sex offenders as I am being molested with the instrument of criminal conduct 6NAS153, including Edison. All right, you're engaging in that pattern of conduct, which is also sexually violent. You are in no way excused from all of that which is included in that criminal activity. All right, just like any other crime. And so it is that which is unprecedented because it's a government that is facilitating not only criminal conduct but sexual violence on a routine basis. License plate 7SUK832, 7NVC772, 44817V2, 7KHE700, 7NUY641, 8SME254, 7UYR743, 7UEG783. That is in relevant position in the drive-through. That creates a line of light, by the way, while they are in a line which is relevant positioning as I cross path. That's crossing path as they are stationary and I am in motion. 8VRL273, 7JXR329, 6HQL996. Edison engaging in that which I have documented as I come to the intersection at Plum. There is the maintenance of someone in relevant position creating light activity at what is an open space. I've documented third parties doing so, using their hazards, and also commercial third parties using their hazards as I come to the street routinely. 7XFG644, I believe, 8SNW032. And this is what Edison is engaged in. 8TPZ648, 8REQ489, 8RQE489, I believe. I want to it's 1:48 p.m. Let me go ahead and show you what Edison's engaged in. Edison is license plate 8Z72063. Substantially similar. Union Pacific 88107W2, 6UJT065. All right, clean street, crossing path, driving what is west on Holt Boulevard. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of the fake sun, which is no longer directly over me as I'm across the street at Andy's Burgers, or was across the street. Now I'm on the opposite side of the same street, right on Holt Boulevard. And as I stand next to Enrique's Income Tax, it's right over me at this location, okay? This is speaking to what they are all engaged in. It is 1:49 p.m. 6SYN672-84623H2. I'm sorry, 6SYN872 is the correct license plate. I'm going to go ahead and cross the street right now. Oh, well, third parties are coming. Right. License 8Z72063. That's Edison license plate. U.S.059076. All right, so let me say that more smoothly. Edison U.S.059076. This is license plate 8Z72063. Remaining in relevant position with light activity. License 8MVB 548. 8PDT 943. 8K YV097. 6FQZ 353. 8PAS 739. 7AEP 835. 7GYM 968. Yeah. State flying over BNG Plaza in relevant position to me. 6UXL 884. 7LGR 663. All right, it's P.O.C. I'm looking dead at the plane. You don't hear anything. Okay, the state is going to turn on its tape of audible activity of a plane while Edison is creating light activity. And the state's fake sun is directly over me at 1:52 p.m. Okay, I've been looking at it and now it turns on the audible activity. Okay, this is not the actual plane activity. The state is amplifying plane activity in the same way it does while I'm inside of a private space. This is activity creation outside under its fake sun. That's UPS. R52741. It's 1:53 p.m. FedEx engaging in P.O.C. license 7S87399 U.S.265752. Crossing path under the fake sun. All right, it's 1:54 p.m. and that's, as I was reciting, that's a third party in relevant position while the state artificially engineers the sound of a loud vehicle. Understand that? On the traffic cameras at Holt and Plum. So what I just recited was P.O.C. Ontario Police from Sultana onto Holt Boulevard at the same time that the state flies directly over again, seconds later, after I have captured FedEx crossing path under the state's fake sun. I take a picture of that, read the license and the U.S. dot. Seconds later, plane flies over Omnitrans's crossing path, light activity at the bus stop, which is right next to the SCHIRO'S liquor, where the state's fake sun is nowhere present anymore, right? The state's fake sun is over here on the opposite side, clearly above my head as FedEx is crossing path. The state flies over in front of me, and Ontario Police engaging in P.O.C. Driving from Sultana, driving south on Sultana and turning east onto Holt. That's relevant position. That's the state acting directly, monitoring and engaging in what is the passive-aggressive stalking conduct while the state is creating activity via third parties patrolling in traffic and via light activity by Edison, using light activity created by FedEx crossing path under the state's fake sun, and while the state is flying over. Okay, that is the totality of what I captured in pictures right now, and what I was reciting as I was capturing those pictures. So I just want to be clear on P.O.C. It's currently 1:55 p.m. That is the state acting in concert with the people, all right? And what I took a picture of also, the psychopaths, that is Edison, SoCal Edison, a commercial actor, standing around, loitering in relevant position, engaging in the perpetual activity creation under what is a fake sun, Ontario Police, the state patrolling via airplanes over the head, and they are standing under what is literally the impossibility that is nowhere whatsoever capable of ever being the sun. And these are psychopaths as I captured in picture, and this is what I took a close-up of, because you need to understand the third-party role. It is shown bare bones and as the criminal conduct that it is. Understand this is demonic, and they are engaged in targeting. Understand what is the targeting conduct? The targeting conduct is being in relevant position under the state's light source while it is engaged in ongoing activity creation. They don't have to look at you to engage in what is targeting you. The targeting conduct is serving the monitoring purposes. Those are psychos that I just took pictures of, and they are the commercial actor, SoCal Edison, okay? I want to be clear on the significance of that picture that I did capture. It's 1:57 p.m. Those are psychopaths, all right? A commercial actor, the same group, the people of the state of California. All right, it is 1:57 p.m. And that is P.O.C., which continues. State's fake sun. Still above schedule. Recall May 1st, for example, when I was leaving, let me get this third-party psychopath. A sex offender, all right? Monitoring with SoCal Edison. Operating under demonic possession. This is a satanic system. 5LDB009. SoCal Edison just chilling in relevant position under a fake sun, standing around in a group, while planes, a fake sun, the Ontario Police Department, and third-party group stalkers in both commercial and individual vehicles, private vehicles, are acting in concert with them pursuant to the light activity that they so gratuitously provided. They are indisputably engaged in the state's criminal pattern of conduct. Thank you, Edison. You will be documented accordingly. P.O.C. Again, Edison 8Z72063. That is P.O.C. and loitering in relevant position. Understand the threat that they are communicating, acting with the state. Understand the sexual violence that they are engaged in, acting with the state. That is P.O.C. I am proceeding to walk north on Plum, and the state's fake sun, as I have already documented, remains over my head in this direction. Remember, as I go to the same locations, walking a different path, for example, as I walk up Euclid to get to the same venue, the state's fake sun not following me up Plum, it's over Euclid Avenue. Okay, this is everything that I've already documented. I'm pointing out the obvious, and what the people of the state of California are engaged in is unmistakable. So it is P.O.C. Doesn't matter whether you're wearing a medical uniform, scrubs. Doesn't matter whether you're working for some company, Amazon Prime, FedEx, UPS, Edison, for example. You can name any company engaging in the same criminal pattern of conduct. That is what they are engaging in as they are using that commercial means to do so, which is the malice with which the public entity monitors. So that's direct evidence. And understand 5HEF125. Crossing path, the state using the sound of a train to create activity. It's all activity creation. Just like I demonstrated in the very, very effective example that I made for activity creation inside of the private space, this is what the state is doing while I'm outdoors. All right. License plate 7RZX729. Ready? P.O.C. State's fake sun. You want to recognize the state that the state's conduct with this light source, as I stated, follows me. So depending on the path that I take to the same location and or similar, Ontario Town Square, the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, to sit outside of the library, that's what determines where the state's fake sun is. License 80905D3. Latino male driving an unmarked white van, 8MVL108. Third-party group stalker, an aged Asian male, crossing path on the sidewalk while the state uses the sound of a train to create audible activity. City of Ontario, license 1212722, vehicle number 5542. Crossing path under that same activity creation. And the state's fake sun, I'll go ahead and capture it for you. It's 2 p.m. It is 2:05 p.m. and again, as I captured on my video, state's fake sun in tow as over the apartments as I'm walking through the parking lot, and City of Ontario engaged in P.O.C. audible activity creation. Group stalker that I captured in the picture using a vehicle as a means of audible activity, literally following me as I walk into the parking lot, and the state flies over again, and you're speaking to the targeted conduct of the state already established. Clearly not flying over the museum, not flying over the skating rink, not flying over B&G Plaza, flying over me inside of this parking lot of the City Hall, the senior housing partner address, and the senior center. City of Ontario, license 1212722, in relevant position, engaging in that, keeping surrounded in the path and keeping activity ongoing while the state also creates activity, stalking in an airplane, which I captured in the state's fake sun is directly over my head. Seconds later, more plane activity begins as I begin recording this aspect of the P.O.C, and that plane activity immediately ceases. The video shows what is the state's absence of its light source over the side of the library, which, it was over 227 where I was at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. And it is wherever I am at. It is impossible to coexist. At no time of the day is the actual sun at no time of day is the actual sun over either of those addresses. This is pursuant to the state stalking with light, which is blatant and plain, as my documentation represents. Group stalker wearing some nice slacks and a button-down shirt. Guess what? He's crossing path. He's a psychopath engaging in the satanic targeting system. Doing so while the state's fake son is now over here on the side of where the senior center is, after having followed me walking from the museum to the B&G Plaza as I go east and west in that parking lot, remaining squarely over my head. And then as I continue to walk west back up toward Holt Boulevard and through the parking lot of the City Hall and the senior center, the state's fake son over that location. Again, still ahead of schedule. May 1st, for example, I was still not up at this location yet, and the state's fake son was captured in an entirely different location over my head as I'm traveling north for the duration of that, which I documented fully. And then that which I've already established with the state's fake son remaining supposed to be over the side of the library, both in the morning. So how are you over me? Not only are you over me early in the morning at the museum, but you're over early in the morning while I'm at every other location as well, including Mercy House, including the library, the Ontario Town Square, everywhere, okay? This is P.O.C, and as I am continuously documenting them both in their private vehicles and in their commercial vehicles. And that hallmark being that which is not the sun, speaking directly to what they are engaged in, intentionally and maliciously. And it is also the sexual violence of the people of the state, using any guise under which it is engaged in, and it being the pattern of conduct. It's 2:08 p.m. I have arrived at third-party facilitating venue, Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. And this is monitoring that is ongoing inside of the venue and outside. But you're looking at specifically what's going on inside, the same maintenance of presence in the path pursuant to what I'm doing on a communication device, all right? Monitoring, stalking with audible activity. And the state, as I've captured, sitting outside of the venue, engaged in ongoing patrolling by planes and helicopters using their sirens. And the state, as I've shown, also engaging in directing light inside of the venue and keeping its light source outside. And the fact that that is not the sun is also speaking to the intentionality of the presence in the path, acting vicariously on behalf of that entity. It's 2:09 p.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, I am remaining inside of third-party facilitating venue, Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, where they are engaged in that same ongoing, silent competition, if you will, but there is no competition. This entity has been fully exposed as the psychopath, demonically impressed entity that it is, monitoring an American citizen who is documenting it and will be thoroughly prosecuting it and showing the group satanic conduct that it is engaged in. And as it takes form inside of this venue, a facilitating venue, engaged in group conduct, engaged in ongoing relevant positioning. I took pictures of what is, first of all, relevant positioning of third-party group stalkers inside of the venue. I also took pictures of not only is it means of audible activity creation, it is the means pursuant to the behavioral patterns. So while they are actively engaging in what is it's an abysmal failure at but it's criminal obstruction of justice. Understand that, and it is while they are engaged in ongoing monitoring and seeking to obstruct specifically my ability to again, like they were doing at Stater Brothers, like I was showing, and I provided images of the criminal conduct on the venue of the internet on a communication device while P.O.C. was underway. Again, seeking to engage in blocking my ability to convert that podcast to my website, thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. The employee documented you're seeing her stand in front of a bookcase. Understand she is slamming them very loudly, first of all, uncharacteristic of that, which is also in a library. All right, but this is P.O.C., okay? She's slamming the books, and she's doing it pursuant to a specific pattern. She's doing it as I am changing screens, as I'm going through trying to convert. Again, my podcast is connected to my website. And so the monitoring, the result that it occurs is trying to disconnect that connection that already exists. I already connected the two. So monitoring is occurring as you are seeking to literally, you can have the ease of, and this is how the website was designed, convert the podcast into the website page, a post on your website page. So monitoring is occurring as they are blocking that connection. I still go through, and I have been dealing with monitoring for a long time, and so not only do I document the pattern of conduct, I'm letting you see the visuals of what they're engaging in for means of maintaining presence and also stalking with activity. They're keeping noise around me. She's using the beeper, the little scanner, and she's slamming the books on the bookcase. I take a picture of that. I believe her name is Abigail. I'm not sure, but I've documented her license plate engaging in monitoring me, and she is engaged in monitoring inside of this venue, and she's acting with third parties who are seated in relevant position, who are employees walking around. Understand, they're all patrolling. It's literally, you're looking at it, like I've already stated. They are under the same fake sun. They are under the same directed light that the state is aiming inside of this venue. They are acting with the state that is patrolling over and around this building, as I have already established by documentation. They are engaging in monitoring, as I am showing you, as it is occurring on their desktop, on my phone, on the venue of the internet. And I'm showing you what is pictures of that conduct that they're engaging in pursuant to that criminal P.O.C. for monitoring. And so I did publish that onto my website, but I did go around and take a picture of who's sitting in my immediate vicinity, because you need to understand that they are maintaining presence and that they are acting as a group. This one over here slamming books down and using the scanner and doing it pursuant to the same behavioral pattern, okay? Literally, this is how you're monitoring, you're keeping up activity, and you're doing so while you're in relevant position, and it is for purposes of everyone else to be able to monitor on communication devices. Blocking that was the immediate goal, the ability for my podcast to go from Anchor onto my WordPress website, which is the patternofconduct.wordpress.com. And that is the significance of the pictures that I took. Everyone inside of this building is in relevant position. They are all engaged in what is it's an afterthought, okay? Once the pattern of conduct is established, the government has already lost, and this is a satanic entity that is operating over the people, over a government, okay? So you're talking about that context, and you're talking about this entity engaging in an ongoing loss of, but nonetheless, albeit that loss, an ongoing determined effort to continue to try to engage in that. How is that legally analyzed? It's criminal obstruction of justice while you are ceaselessly monitoring, and doing so while you are also monitoring, you're also engaged in criminal facilitation of that monitoring, and you are also presenting what is that impermissible threat in doing so, okay? Based on the nature of the crime that you are monitoring, you're also aware of the fact that you are being documented, which is a communication of an unlawful threat while you are monitoring an American citizen who is aware of it, who is documenting it, and so under federal law, you'll be prosecuted for that as well. This is the government's expressing this determination and communicating a threat simultaneously while ceaselessly monitoring, okay? And this is a facilitating venue, Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. It's currently 4:11 p.m., and those are the significance of the pictures that I took. And I also went on ahead and I converted my podcast to the website, which is online. But I just want to document the criminal endeavor of seeking to engage in what is the ongoing pattern of conduct for purposes of obstructing the ability to do so, which is unlawful under existing law and federal law, which shall be enforced against the entity. It's P.O.C. All right, it's 5:53 p.m. And again, as I'm standing at the entrance, all of this is just, it's so... But this is exactly why I do it, because it needs to be known what the government and what the people of the state, in the shoes of the government that's operating a system of federal group stalking and monitoring, it is satanic. And it is an unprecedented level of criminal conduct. Sickos engage in this system, and that is a prerequisite. Understand, you are not engaging in the pattern of conduct. And understand everything. It's none of this is coincidental. This is all intentional and deliberate. This is that which was supposed to be some covert system by the state. And I am providing what is the objective evidence, facts, to support that which is criminal conduct by government, having not been aware of the fact that I was being targeted, and then becoming aware of it and documenting it and exposing what is an expansive system much wider than I anticipated. Thought it was just Tracy Banks, Eric Corey Spencer, maybe some people that I knew, did not know. And as I traveled about and left where I was living and went on to different areas, different regions, and understanding that I was literally in a fishbowl and that this is an operation everywhere that you go, and then seeing how the state is engaging in that, literally everything around you is deliberately placed there and or heard or seen for that ongoing criminal system. And so this is the exposure of that. And so I did step out to get what is the fake sun. Again, this is that which is in direct comparison with everything that I have already documented. What do you have? The state engaging in an ongoing pattern of placing its fake sun directly over the senior apartments and in line literally with where I'm at. If I'm sitting on the side of the library nearest the senior center, there's the fake sun there. If I move from there, then it is over here. Let me get this group stalker who is patrolling past where the state has directed light. This is a psychopath, and this is also demonic possession, just giving you context. It is 5:55 p.m., and what I took pictures of, again, I'm getting to the context of it. I'm taking pictures of what is the state's fake, took video, actually, as I step out of the venue. The state's fake sun directly in front of me. And that is in front, meaning as I step out of the entrance doors, the fake sun, as I am facing Euclid Avenue, which is facing west, is squarely in front of the doors. And this is what I take video of. And also referencing the video of what is bathroom monitoring, being surrounded, using the male's restroom, understand the walls and the ceilings and all that. These are no obstruction whatsoever. It is an illusion to actually being separated. The entity is monitoring. This is the same thing inside of any house where you live, any apartment building where you live, any jail cell where you are kept kidnapped. You are being surrounded at all times in relevant position with communication devices. Understand an activity creation to that end. So they have a third party enter inside of the bathroom. And let me be clear, it is no less sexual violation. You're listening before and after while I'm physically indisposed. There is no getting out of the pattern of conduct. And so you can bring in an underage face. You can have that underage face create activity and maintain relevant positioning. And by the way, these minors, these little minionites, also operate and are very fully apprised of how to use communication devices, by the way. Okay, so that in and of itself as well, but you can bring it and understand this is the malice with which the entity acts, okay? And so bringing in a third party and in no way obviating documentation of criminal conduct, which is ceaselessly underway. You can use your puppy dog, you can use your newborn baby, you can use your underage child, your minionite, to create activity, to engage in group stalking. This is speaking to the government that is facilitating such conduct, such corruption, okay? And that's what I take a picture of as I am surrounded. Physically, one enters into the bathroom and she exits. Understand, as I flush the toilet, as I open and close the door of the bathroom stall, okay, hearing the door hit the wall, whatnot. This is activity creation. While the group stalking male that I capture in video is on my opposite side through the wall. Okay, the illusion of some separation, not where you're being monitored with communication devices, and where the state is placing a light source over the venue and aiming light inside of that venue, such that monitoring is unhindered. Okay, and so I captured this third party. Understand the state is also amplifying through the depths of the hallway, through the bathroom. You're hearing what is supposed to be the dryer. This is the same instrument of monitoring. And he crosses path as I open the door. And I'm capturing what is the third party inside of the bathroom with me, creating activity and also in relevant position as I create activity. As I exit the bathroom stall, for example, as I wash my hands, turn on the water, turn off the water, use the hand dryer. This is all activity creation. While you are in relevant position, you're monitoring. And addition, you are also creating activity. So this third party in the men's room and this third party in the restroom with me and stepping out and getting the state's fake sun remaining. Not only is this impossible, you're talking about, again, this is all the analysis of everything that you're looking at. And this is when you're looking at it one for one, as opposed to the forest from the trees, looking at the whole big picture. Because that's what documentation starts, especially with the state's light activity. This is not the sun based on its duration of remaining over the same location. I just captured as I travel from the museum, going up toward transit and traveling east and then west again, and you're seeing how the state's light source is literally necessarily engaging and moving in those different directions, which is not the sun as well. In addition to the fact that it is comparable to the locations where it's supposed to be at the same time, it wants to be the sun. The state wants this to be the sun, but it is impossible to be the sun where it has been placed at the same time in an entirely different and distinct location, maintaining that same presence squarely over me. Okay, just as I can't be at that location at the same time, I'm one person. That is the sun, and that is not possible that it is directly over me at these different locations, okay? And this is a vast difference in addresses and locations, and same location above me, though, squarely above where I am. In addition to the fact that the duration, I travel, again, from the museum to B&G Plaza, north up Plum Avenue to go through the venue, the parking lot, where Senior Center, the Ontario Senior Housing, at 280 North Lemon Apartments, the senior housing community, and the City Hall, this parking lot. And the state's fake sun is remaining over. State is flying over that parking lot. Third parties are surrounding in private vehicles, commercial vehicles, surrounding in relevant position. Stalking, group stalking. And that is as I'm traveling to the venue of Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, where the P.O.C is not stopping at all. And so you're talking about the duration of hours, where you have what's supposed to be some migration of the sun from that vantage point up to the front of the entrance doors. And that's just looking at today. The documentation, again, comparable with not only every different location, but you're talking about where it was recently documented, which is remaining over 2301 South Euclid Avenue, okay, at Economy N, in addition to, again, every other address where it remained, okay, and you're also talking about what sort of migration is this of the sun, comparable with that which I also documented before I went to Economy N, which was the state's established pattern. This is a record that it is inescapable. The state engaging in placing its fake sun over the senior center, over the senior housing apartment building, and then you have it all of a sudden over here directly in front of the entrance doors as I am facing Euclid Avenue, meaning facing west. That is an absolute departure from that pattern. That is an absolute inconsistent act with its light source as you are looking at it from place to place and that big picture. This is blatant stalking with the light source. Why is the state stalking with the light source? Okay, I have established that the fact that the state is stalking is established. That the state is stalking with light is established. Why? Because the people of the state of California, where the public entity is operating the system, is monitoring with communication devices. And so, like I stated in the video, that as I step out of the venue and the state's fake sun is directly in front as I'm facing west. And again, I've pointed out how this is not only impossible based on my documentation, but impossible based on nature and the scientific fact that the actual sun is not nowhere at any of the venues actually where I've located it. This is the center of the universe that the target individual is, because the sun is over you, the moon is over you, and everyone is always maintaining presence. There is no, and that is not only physically, that's audibly, keeping you surrounded in every way, all right? You are the center of the universe as far as Satan is concerned, for purposes of monitoring you with communication devices, as it does so through the human beings that you see with your own very eyes, all right? It's demonic activity in the natural, and it's criminal conduct, so in no way impervious to being prosecuted in the form of a federal court. So you have, again, so I want to just be clear, the significance of the pictures. I took pictures of what is the state's fake sun as I'm facing west, and then as I turn to walk down the side hallway beside the library, this is mutually impossible. You have what is directed light on the columns inside, on the side of the library. And again, I pointed out in that video as well that which is already of record, which is established that the state engaged in. It's light activity down this side hallway beside the library where I maintained before. So the state is doing what it does, which is following with its light, but also literally incapable of tackling, and it cannot. And honestly, you're talking about an obsessed, psychotic level of hovering and following and pure just determination to do evil, which is the personification of Satan operating over a government, acting in concert as it an operation over a people. If you're understanding that, okay, you're talking about that which is in many ways, no desire actually to reconcile. Not only you cannot reconcile this documented conduct with what is impossible to be this. It's not possibly the sun. There is no explanation whatsoever that it could possibly be, and that's just that which you do have to tackle down to be of record. And I have done that. But you were talking about when you're engaged in this level of stalking and blatant additional provision against the vicarious actor. Everything that the state is doing is direct evidence against the people of the state. It's vicarious actor, okay? And so this is what I'm doing. I'm prosecuting a group that's engaged in group conduct, okay? That which was predetermined to be absolutely impossible. It is not impossible, all right? And that which is not a fallacy. Group stalking is very real, and it's not individualized. It's a government system. It's a government system based on targeting American citizens, and it is rooted in demonic conduct. It's demonic in its source. This is also why it was predetermined to never be found out or prosecuted, because it is really starting at that which is discerned, all right? And that's outside of the purview of the ordinary human being, all right? Whether you want to, I'm not going to go into some esoteric discussion on that, but that's where it starts from, the ability to discern that which is of a wicked entity. And then you have to, while you are a human being dealing with what is the law, basing it on objective facts and evidence, which is how you prosecute, having also the affinity toward the court system toward the law to prosecute it and create a system. And that is essentially what has happened. And so you have at this juncture, literally everything that the state does is direct evidence against the people. The state's conduct with its light source is direct evidence. That's not circumstantial. That is direct evidence where an entity, and that's going to be federal policy, where the entity is engaging in these sort of tactics that you are observing in the environment. It's direct evidence as to what those in relevant position are engaged in, regardless of any legally irrelevant guise under which they want to maintain relevant positioning, maintain activity creation. All right, because this is how the entity monitors. And so everything out of a third party, which that is what they are deemed to be, where you are establishing that pattern of conduct by a government. Okay, this is the stalking conduct, providing additional evidence of stalking. I mean, that's a hallmark of a government monitoring with communication devices, okay? Directly going toward its vicarious actor, the people of the state. That which is engaged in by an individual of the same group or a commercial actor of the same group, the people of the state. And so this is going toward the prosecution of that group. Not impossible under any circumstances. This is the tying together of what that system looks like, what it is based on. It is based on what are psychopaths. They are. This is the secular explanation for what is actually satanic, all right? And whether you want to address that or not, it really doesn't matter because that's what a psychopath is. You're engaging in that which is very, very absurdly weird and peculiar. It is demented. It is requiring a level of dysfunction, all right? But you're not talking about a level of mental dysfunction that's removing criminal responsibility. To the contrary, they know exactly how weird and how wrong and how illegal and how it would be that which would be would subject them to prosecution in court. And this is why you have the entity acting under the guise of, oh, I'm just doing my job, I'm not monitoring you. Okay, and so this is where you're getting to the big picture. You're looking at what the government is engaged in, the state's pattern of conduct, and it is directly tethered to the people who are acting pursuant to a behavioral pattern. This is also tying the group together, who are acting under what is a deliberately designed environment. This is tying the group stalkers, the people of the state, their conduct, their presence together. And so this is the absence of coincidence and the sheer volume of documentation of the state stalking, that in and of itself. Again, you're talking about tying together where this documentation started. It started with the stalking conduct of absolute strangers. All right. It started with observation of the stalking conduct and the demented conduct of third parties whose name I know, i.e. Tracy Banks. Okay, before being aware of how expansive it was. Okay, but it started with third parties, and here I am concluding that documentation with third parties who are tethered to that government system. It relies on third party conduct. Okay, and so I just want to be clear. Third party, that concept, it's not in the abstract. I didn't come up with that after putting together the entity. No. It started with the stalking conduct of strangers. This is what I noticed. Okay, airplanes were not flying over, and helicopters and police. All of this was not pronounced at the outset. The police engaging in aggressive conduct, the more I start to document strangers who were following me around. Okay, and this is where it started, and this is why they were engaged in that. Okay, this is the totality of that system. It is federal group stalking and monitoring, and it is in violation of existing federal law. The state is already prosecuted as engaging in violation of its own federal law. Okay, this is what it is. The hypocrisy, the bankruptcy, all right, the absolute, despicable, debased, just demented, all right, conduct of a government that is sanctioning, facilitating, enabling, all right, welcoming. It's something that is beyond what one may fathom. But understand even in that it was designed that way. This was designed by that which is outside of the realm of natural human beings. This is demonically inspired, okay? That demonic inspiration, it takes effect in human beings every day. People that you're looking at with your very own eyes, but understand that entity, that demonic entity, you cannot see. But you can know it by its deeds, by its conduct, all right? And this is the provision of what are the criminal elements for engaging in a criminal system of monitoring with communication devices. All right. and you're talking about understanding that context. So I'm giving you both the objective evidence, and I'm also giving you that context, that individual, that invisible influence that is operating over every single last one. All right, this is demonic oppression over a people, okay, and over a government. All right, so do with that what you will, but regardless, at the end of the day, this is criminal, and I'm speaking to what is the presence of, as I walk out of the venue again, documenting and literally sealing up that documentation, and doing nothing other than taking names of third parties as they are acting with the state. The state is already identified. Okay, the state's prosecution is already solidified. This is naming as third parties who are the same actor. Understand, you're identifying the numerous individuals or commercial actors, which is analogous to the individual, within one group. All right, it's group conduct. All right, and understand that is the significance of third parties, and I'm literally taking down names. In that system, this is what the state is doing at all times. The state's conduct continues to do nothing other than show the people of the state to be none other than the criminals, the sex offenders, and the psychopaths that they are, whether they are in their private residence. They're engaging in this conduct intentionally and maliciously, all right? And doing so, showing there is no mask over it anymore. And there never was. It was literally a feat to establish in a way that everyone can see it, such that there's no reasonable question. Okay, only a group stalker is going to try to find some way to try to, all right, you know. And I'm not concerned about that. The evidence is clear, all right? And that is the ability to demonstrate what the government is engaged in, and it is that which is evil, okay? But evil tends to engage in criminal conduct, and this is how you deal with it. You can prosecute it. And so as I'm stepping out of the venue again, I just want to be clear, I'm taking pictures of the hallway, and that is also impossible to coexist with the state's fake sun. West, as I'm stepping out the entranceways, and you've got directed light onto the columns as I walk down the hallway. The state that is lining the path with light in the same way that third-party group stalkers do in their cars, lining the path, all right, keeping light around. This is what the state was doing while I was inside of the room at Economy Inn, keeping light all around, not only in the room, aiming it through the window, upward from the ground, not sunlight, and onto both walls, east and west walls, while I'm... Even if I was on the first floor, okay, this is not light that is occurring from the sun, all right? And while, mind you, the state's fake sun was directly over that venue, all right? This is all direct evidence against the people of the state, the vicarious actor, in the shoes of the government, facilitating a public entity's ability to monitor an American citizen, the people of the state of California engaging in monitoring an American citizen, and that pattern of conduct includes that which is of an exceedingly violent and threatening sex offender, acting as a group, acting corporately to engage in that system in all places, at all times, and complete disregard of the constitutional and human rights of an American citizen, okay? And so it is 6:13 p.m., and that's what I capture as I step out of the venue, and that is P.O.C. A couple of things I also want to note. I also took a picture of what is the maintenance of property of a third party. Understand that is a means for crossing a path. It is also, as documented, is a means of maintaining the presence of a communication device in your path. Again, you don't have to physically be there to have a communication device in your path. And third parties engage in placement of items in order to engage in relevant positioning. It's supposed to be the guise under which they're actually coming to walk past you, for example. I'm just providing the rationale. Regardless, the third party whose picture I took, she's walking down the hallway where the state is aiming directed light, where the state is maintaining a fake sun over the venue in relevant position. And I also took a picture of what are third-party group stalkers seated inside of the venue, understand, through a window, no obstruction whatsoever for monitoring. And seconds later, again, as I'm walking down the hallway, I'm taking pictures of what is the state's directed light after taking a video of the state's fake sun, which is, again, ongoing placement in relevant position under that which is none other than a fishbowl. As I continue to document third parties, it is already established that the state is stalking. It is already established that the state is stalking with light, okay? And so my documentation is complete in that regard. I literally continue to document third-party facilitating venues. and third parties acting in whatever capacity. If you're in a commercial vehicle, if you want that brand to be associated with federal group stalking and monitoring, it's my pleasure, because it needs to be known while you want to sell your products and your services to the American people, you are engaged in monitoring American citizens. And let me also go a step further and make it known. Many American citizens and government actors already know this, because this is a system that is not brand new. This is that which has not yet been exposed. So I am speaking to that which is not headline news for many of the American people. But I do think that genuinely there are those who are genuinely ignorant, do not know, and or cannot fathom that a government is engaged in such conduct. I was one, okay, a full believer in the Constitution and the Founding Fathers, okay, studied political science, believing in the American dream, okay, I am believing in the American flag and that we're supposedly, quote unquote, the best country. This is a fallacy. The United States is no different than Russia. This is not being anti-American. This is an American that is witnessing the hypocrisy and the corruption of an American government that is actually operating under satanic influence. It is wicked and evil. And this is demonstrated by the conduct of those in that office, okay? You know them by their deeds, not by the nice clothes that they wear or the position that they hold or how they verbally describe themselves or say what they believe or say what they would do or not do. That is all irrelevant. You know people by what they do and not the stuff that they want you to see them doing. Not when they want you to see them selling or buying cookies from the Girl Scouts, okay? But when they're walking around the corner and they're selling crack on the corner in secret, that part that you don't see, that's the real them, okay? That's the true identity. And this is how you are understanding what is actually underway in the United States of America, because this is not isolated to California. I have merely engaged in isolating the pattern of conduct to the state of California, because that is the public entity that is monitoring me. I have been outside of the gates of California and Arizona. I was being monitored outside of the state lines of California. The state did not stop monitoring me. Okay, that was facilitated as I was monitored and being violated sexually, engaging in that conduct, which was by Joshua Chaim Quaid, third party, acting with the state, monitoring me, engaging in what is sexually violent conduct while monitoring me as a third party outside of the state lines of California. All right, that's in violation of existing federal law and that which shall be addressed under federal legislation, systematic infliction of inhumane suffering. Again, that third party's name, Joshua Chaim Quaid. Quaid as in Dennis Quaid. Not associating Dennis Quaid to Joshua Quaid's conduct, but the Quaid, Q-U-A-I-D, that name, Joshua Chaim Quaid, a third party, engaging in monitoring while I'm in the state of Arizona, and this is documented as occurring in the year of 2017. Again, I have no idea that I'm being monitored at this time, and so I just want to point that out. I want to go back to my original point of the pictures that I'm taking are third parties that are monitoring as I'm in the hallway. State's fake sun, okay? So the state's directed light, all right? So every third party that I'm documenting, those are already established facts. What the people of the state of California are doing inevitably is that which I am documenting them by name, and they are the same actor, okay? They are the same actor. So you're talking about that which is a group crime, all right? It's premised on group conduct. But you are able within that group to identify each one, all right? Because I'm going to make an example of as many of them, including commercial actors, as feasibly possible. It's 6:20 p.m., and so I just wanted to mention that. That is P.O.C. It is 6:54 p.m. and the state sounds a set of sirens, which the state is amplifying as well, and drives around the perimeter of where I'm located on the side of the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. 6:55 p.m. and then the Ontario Fire Department follows with another round of sirens, immediately ceasing those sirens at 6:55 p.m. And third-party group stalkers surround. And so I just want to also show what is the environment where they're creating what is audible activity. All right. Patrolling in relevant position under the state's fake sun. This is directed light. And this is the remaining of the state's fake sun. You recall as I exited the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. This is all directed light while the state is driving around and creating audible activity. I want to take a picture of here. This is Laverne Law School. This is supposed to be sunlight that's on that building. Understand this is the surrounding of the location where I'm at with what is directed light, as this is not the sun, and the state is aiming light all around, while third-party minions surround in their cars, surround on foot, and surround in traffic, okay? That's P.O.C, and the state is engaging in criminal facilitation and criminal monitoring, criminal harassment, and group stalking, as they are, again, listening to me publish documentation at the same time as well. That is P.O.C. It is currently 6:56 p.m. Plane activity, 6:58 p.m. UPS. Now this is what the state was doing under sirens. This is crossing path. Directed light on Ontario City Hall. That's surrounding the environment under what is the fake sun. And I just took pictures of that. All right? 6:59 p.m. Ontario Fire Department sounding sirens again, and doing so, let me tell you what they're scared of. I am publishing my documentation from 2020 as I remain inside of the private residence of Tracy Banks at Woodside Senior Apartments, a third-party facilitating venue, on May 5th, 2020. So as I go into a different function, they start sounding their sirens. As I go into a different function, the plane flies over the senior apartments right here next to me. The state engages in the light activity as I captured in video. That was audible activity via sirens, 7:12 p.m. Under the state's light activity as I'm showing in the videos. So again, my documentation is married together. You're going to want to see the videos, look at the pictures as I'm stating what I'm capturing, and it's also the activity that continues. And then not only, so this is P.O.C. for monitoring, it is also the impermissible threat. That's the Ontario Fire Department, by the way. And this is also the engagement in the pattern of conduct of harassment while they're monitoring the documentation. And this is the failure of that demonically inspired entity that wants to distract from, also would rather me do that than publish this documentation from 2020. This is all the rationale behind, again, the entity that has already been founded as the perverted criminal, the demented psychopath that it is, that is monitoring. It is 7:13 p.m. 7:14 p.m. This is exactly what the state does while the state is engaged in surveillance and doing the same thing overnight, second after second. Train, sirens, plane, helicopter, train, sirens, plane, helicopter, okay? And the people of the state engaged in all of that. That is surveillance, that is harassment, that is the impermissible threat. Those are engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring. It is also criminal facilitation, all right? And while the state is also engaging in ongoing light activity as well, stalking with light. That's P.O.C. at 7:15 p.m. (8:34 p.m.) This is continuous while they're listening to me uploading documentation. It's like as they hear the evidence, then another plane will fly over. Just like I was speaking to the timestamps where the state is using sirens. It's as they are listening to this documentation that I'm publishing, that I've had for a very long time, and I'm publishing it as they hear it. In addition, understand it's P.O.C., but they're doing it with frustration, fear, while I am reviewing my documentation that I'm actively publishing. It's currently 8:34 p.m. and this is the state patrolling again over here where I am at the side of the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. And then as I go to the museum, that's where the state continues that conduct. It is 8:34 p.m. That's P.O.C. It's train activity. I'm going to get these group stalkers. 5 FUT 536. Headlights, sitting in the middle of the street and sitting on the side of the street, parked on the side and turns on the light signal, and the train is audible activity. 4 ZAP 396. This is the group stalker 8E47881, touching with light as well. 8 RYF 314. The state sounding helicopter activity as I'm packing up my belongings on the side of the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. And again, this is seconds after I caught the pictures of the state hovering over the senior center apartment complex. So the seconds later after I take those pictures, then helicopter activity. And then as I am walking, the state starts sounding the train, which you're hearing, and all these group stalkers are in relevant position, group stalking as I'm walking. So 8 LGD 610. Crossing path 8 AAZ 728, crossing path and touching as well. 8 TQC 025, 5 VVV 101, 6 JDW 421, 7 DTD 063, license plate 7 ESC 971. Touching with light is 5 FUT 536. 8 LGD 610 is creating light activity. Everything that they're doing is creating light. They are getting in their cars, reversing and backing and driving off, crossing path, light activity, audible activity creation. 8 RDP 709. 7 GKC 474. 5 CNR 661. The state is flying over right now, while third parties crossing path in 8 LGD 610, the state's right above flying over in an airplane. Okay, 8 FPJ 507. 8 BSL 405. 5 JXH 413. And I just uploaded the images of the plane. It's 9:09 p.m. and I just uploaded it about 5 minutes ago. 7UUN 561. So this is going with the pictures that you just saw. Ongoing POC. Plane to the helicopter to the train to the group stalkers, all ready in relevant position. Either way that I would have walked from the side of the library, they're in relevant position. Okay, lighting up the street, lighting up the path with their cars, group stalking, and acting with the state that's creating that sound of the train. That's audible activity while they all surround. 83333Z2. 7B75238, 4 CGL 144. And I want to be clear, this group stalker is sitting in their car. 8 BSL 405, group stalking sitting in their car. Group stalking sitting in their car. 5 JXH 413. Okay, that's the ongoing activity while they're in relevant position, and the state is flying over. Like I said, everything while I'm naming third parties, that environment that they're in, the stalking context under which they are present is already established as I'm naming them that are the same actor, the same group. Okay, monitoring. Group stalker, African American male. He's sitting at the seated area in front of the senior center apartments. He's creating audible activity using his communication device as I am walking toward, walking toward from the library. So specifically, I am walking from the side of the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. I proceed to walk what is south along Lemon Avenue on the sidewalk. And the state creates train activity. This is just maintaining activity as I'm in motion. And this is one who is on foot, an African-American male using his communication device in relevant position and also creating audible activity. In doing so, the state immediately begins sounding the train. And I want you to listen to that rhythm of train activity. This is what the state does while I am engaged in movement. It'll beep and then stop and beep literally as I move. The state is doing that right now. It's called stalking with activity. It's P.O.C. It's the direct evidence against the people of the state as I continue to prosecute the people of the state of California. I'm now continuing to walk, and I was just naming a bunch of actors as I proceed to walk to the Ontario Museum of History and Art, where the state engages in the same exact conduct using the train. It is extraordinarily loud, right, for its location along Emporia. That's called amplification. All right, sounding at the same volume, irrespective of my distance from that train track. That is the state creating audible activity. It's called activity creation. It's P.O.C. currently 9:12 p.m. and at Ontario Town Square. Third-party actor is with the security guard. He's in relevant position. He's monitoring under all the same elements being present. That is P.O.C, and he is also on surveillance cameras in relevant position. And that's where I'm at, and that is speaking to his criminal presence, acting with every other third party. That is a Latino male. And if he is not an American citizen, he's worthy of being deported. 5JXH413. I think I already read 7UUN561. Crossing path right now, proceeding west on B Street. As I'm approaching B Street, it's 9:13 p.m. Lined up in traffic on Holt Boulevard, relevant positioning where I stand right here at B Street. Ontario Police, I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of that. All right, that is the video that I captured of Ontario Police, again, 1576657. Again, I want to be clear, traffic on Holt Boulevard in relevant position, lined up at the traffic light at the same time. That is a buildup of light activity and relevant positioning of communication devices at that traffic light. Ontario Police loitering in relevant position while the state, as you heard on my podcast, repeatedly sounding the sound of a train. 6DKA867. While, mind you, third parties are all in relevant position, using their vehicles to light up that path. Ontario Police group stalking on the street right next to it. Understand that. It's group conduct. That is ongoing documentation of them. License 6XKK107. And that is also a communication of a threat by the state that is acting directly via law enforcement, acting by the Ontario Police Department. 7R40564. That's the symbolic threatening conduct that the state engages in. Aside from stealing my personal property, aside from engaging in multiple acts of criminal kidnapping with the intent to obstruct justice, 7KAS 295, 6XDN 656. Third-party group stalker at the parking garage of Metro 102 Apartments, loitering in relevant position at the path where I'm at, and using going into the garage as their means of being present. That is, again, 6DKA867. License plate. I'm going to get this one that's at the tail end of Lemon, creating light activity, but I'm going to get these license plates. 7JJM279. Can't really read that one. This is license plate 8VJT725. And directed light as I'm reading the license plate as they drive by. The group stalker at the end of the street, 7F. Let's see, that is a D. 7FOL510. Okay, group stalking as I'm walking down the street. Directed light as I'm reading these license plates, regardless of that they are in relevant position in the state of stalking, and the state is stalking vicariously through that third party. 7JJM279. Directed light appearing onto the building, the apartment building of Metro 102, and this is supposed to be under the guise of traffic going east on Holt Boulevard. That's directed light. That's P.O.C. as well. All right, speaking to what the people of the state of California are engaged in. Group stalker intentionally crossing paths, 7GPL 901. It's a psychopath on the run. 8HKG 886 ROB3 KKD. It's 9:16 p.m. 7LYF 177. Okay, so let me be clear with regard to the placement of directed light. Directed light appearing onto the face of the Metro 102 apartment. So as I'm standing on Lemon Avenue, facing the Metro 102 apartments, I'm reading the license plates that are parked in front of that apartment. So I am facing the building, which means I'm facing east, looking at the Metro 102 apartments. And directed light is moving north across the Metro 102 apartment building. It is directed light because there is no possible way nor direction of headlights or movement of these vehicles that are driving east and west on Holt Boulevard. That light is streaming across the Metro 102 apartments. Understand that's supposed to be the guise under which that light is appearing. 6UKB720. All right, that's directed light. That's the direct evidence against the third parties, the people of the state. But like I said, I've already established that which is an ongoing environment and that which is ongoing criminal conduct of stalking by the state directly. And they are stalking vicariously. So I will continue to document them under those circumstances, under those facts that remain present at all times. License plate 7 TVX 551. The license plate of the white van, it was parked in front of the motor, and I already read that license plate earlier today. Group stalking sitting in that van on the opposite side of Lemon Avenue. So sitting in front of motor N, sitting in the vehicle, no headlights on. Other third parties are providing light activity, and as I described, the state is providing directed light while he or she is sitting in their van on the opposite side in alignment to me at Lemon Avenue in that van, which I read the license plate of that van earlier today as I was walking from the museum, and the state's fake sun was over my head as I was proceeding east on transit from the museum. Okay, that same third party in that white van, starting the ignition, which I hear all the way from across the street. That's called amplification. And they proceed to make a U-turn, drive south on Lemon Avenue, and turn east onto Transit. Group stalking in their car in the path, remaining in relevant position. Okay, driving in the opposite direction is no deviation from the P.O.C. It's relevant positioning, and it's audible activity creation while you're in the path. It's P.O.C. It is currently 9:19 p.m. That's supposed to be the revving of an engine. That's the state that is not a very good artist at all. Literally just creates noise in the atmosphere. And unintelligent in doing so, keeps third parties present in cars, so that when the state creates the loud noises of cars, they're supposed to assume, oh, that's traffic. The state keeps the amplification of the sound of a train pursuant to the same behavioral pattern, and you're supposed to assume that that's the train that's causing the ground to vibrate, that's the train that's honking the horn, the train that's running 14, 15, 16, 17 times throughout the night. This is the state that engages in aiming light in all manner of directions, literally a circus light show everywhere that you go, and that's supposed to be headlights, that's supposed to be sunlight, while the state acts with the people of the state who are supposed to maintain a presence, keeping up this ridiculous environment that is in no way natural. It is deliberately designed, conducive for monitoring with communication devices, and it is demonic activity. That demonic influence, that demonic impression, that demonic root is actually perceivable through the very engagement in the elements, through the sounds that the state makes to monitor. Okay, the volume with which, the roaring with which they create all kind of noise and movement of the environment, the light activity, especially the state's demonic root that it is operating under, is also perceived in that regard as well. I have arrived at third-party facilitating venue, Ontario Museum of History and Arts. That's audible activity. 8 DRH 690, 7XTP 276. 8 BGR 907, 8 UME 021, 5 UFN 546, 7 CLR 731, 8 MSZ 028, 5 MLV 025, 7X QD 174. So even as the psychopath that's monitoring the documentation, the evidence against itself, engages in revving its engine, it's audible activity. 8JMU 929. It's audible activity when the state is literally playing the tape of the sound, and when third parties actually create it. 3BHM 462, and third parties are in relevant position under each and every either scenario. Okay, there is no contradiction of the P.O.C, and I am not incorrect in what the state is systematically engaged in. All right, it is the engagement in the criminal elements for purposes of that federal prosecution. In alignment to me, driving east on Transit on the opposite side of the street, on the traffic cameras, to proceed going south on Euclid, they're monitoring. Understand that. This is all serving that criminal system. This is demonic activity. 8 AQL 561. It is currently 9:22 p.m. 6 ZRF 049. 8 CTB 403. A heart NKAT, meaning that's a symbol of a heart. REDMABA. And I just want to be clear, I'm standing here at the street of HOLT. And from this distance, being where I lay at the museum, you're not going to hear traffic. You're not going to hear the tires running across the asphalt. This is all amplification. The traffic is not that loud. Everything is turned up in volume. Okay, so under normal circumstances where a government is not monitoring you, it is not that loud. Okay, just want to be clear on that as well. 8SKE 302. Sitting at the traffic light in relevant position, monitoring, driving east and west on HOLT, amplification, demons, they're already documented. They are literally doing themselves in. All of them shall be prosecuted summarily. All right? It's audible activity. Satan doesn't win at any gateway whatsoever. Okay? In addition, guess what? While they're patrolling, the state's flying over. The absence of coincidence as well. These are literally minions driving around in circles, waiting their impending federal prosecution and humiliation on the world scene. Seen for the demonically inspired psychopath sex offenders that they are. Let me see your... You want some speed by, but doesn't want to let me see that license plate. They're cowards as well. Cowards. Listening to every word that I'm saying. Lose on every front. 8NRK136. 8KZS828. 8745 8E2, I believe, substantially somewhere. Driving south on Euclid, all of them. 8LOB 311. I crossed the street to go to the opposite side. And so while they're driving south, this traffic too was heard all the way on the south side of the museum, just like Omnitrans. Whatever noise that they can contribute to the pattern of conduct for monitoring, that's what they add to it. That's P.O.C. Whether you want to argue you can actually hear it or not, it's audible activity. 8GYH501, but I'm letting you know that's the tool of the state, amplification. And how do I know this without any question? Because when I was kidnapped inside of the state facilitating venues, like I already said, through bulletproof glass, solid concrete, and metal, thick, heavy metal, you're hearing what is supposed to be inmates talking, not even yelling, just talking, pressing the button to flush the toilet. As you are pressing the button to operate the toilet to flush, hearing what's supposed to be that through all of that. You're not hearing that whatsoever. This is indicative of what the state is doing at all times, okay? You are not hearing them speaking and having conversation. That's not how those cells are built in West Valley. That you are not hearing that through the walls. You're not hearing any of that. But that's what the state is creating inside of my cell while it was monitoring me, amplifying what's supposed to be plane activity inside of that cell, 8MPP177. You're not hearing plane activity inside of that cell. No. Even if the state was flying at a low elevation, you are not going to hear that. But all of the facts as to that venue, 7HYJ837, is direct evidence against the state engaging in ongoing group stalking, activity creation, light activity, stalking with light, directed light inside of that venue, while the people of the state, the inmates, and the state actors, the medical workers, the deputies, engaging in P.O.C. while I was kidnapped. All right, the people of the state engaged in kidnapping with the intent to obstruct justice. 8NUU570. All of the crimes that they are participating in while monitoring, and they were monitoring through and through, engaged in criminal summoning, resulting in my being kidnapped, engaged in criminal summoning on more than one occasion, resulting in my being kidnapped by the Ontario Police, criminal facilitation with the state. You are going down for all of those crimes. All right, everything precipitating from your criminal conduct. And all of your partners are going down with you. You're in it together. It's group conduct. All right, it is currently 9:26 p.m. and that is amplification of audible activity that the state literally plays a tape of the sound of. Thought I'd give you a sample of who is engaging in criminal conduct and doing so on a 24-hour basis. It's the same actor though, through and through on Euclid Avenue where they're concentrating activity. P.O.C. (9:41 p.m.) 6EQN728, 5MXY285. 7M23312, 9:41 p.m. That license plate of that tow truck sitting in relevant position facing west on transit, using light on the tow truck. 8R87691. Give you a picture of what is stalking with light in relevant position. That's the tow truck. Stops on the side of transit. License plate 7F BJ792, 6ZBG 618, 715-5183, I believe, substantially similar to that. License plate, 8TDP120 or 8TBP120, 6HNU2. I can't really see the rest of that one. License plate, I can't really see that one either. It's currently 9:42 p.m. and the state is directing light on the opposite side of the building where I've already shown my enlarged shadow on the face of the brick wall. I'll take a picture of it. The state is aiming light. You see enlarged shadows, which is supposed to be headlights aiming onto the cars. They're enlarged in size. This is P.O.C. License plate 8NX821, substantially similar to that. Can't really see that one. That is directed light onto that wall. This is speaking to what the third parties are engaging in as well. The environment, the state stalking with this environment, and the state stalking directly is establishing what on track is engaged in. License plate 36901T2. This is license plate 5PFJ514. It is 9:43 p.m. License plate IROD12, 7WOL159, 8KBY673, substantially similar, 7DNB193, license plate 8VDM875, that's audible activity creation, 8PSR468, Ontario Police, license 1503481. All right, P.O.C. Ontario Police engaged in criminal monitoring, group stalking, criminal facilitation, criminal harassment, and threatening conduct, acting in concert with the people of the state, facilitating their very group conduct that I'm documenting right now. 6ZUN972. And Ontario Police proceeding what is south on Euclid Avenue. And understand they're only engaging in visible crossing of path. They maintain presence in my path, group stalking on back streets, in dark parking garages, on back alleys, remaining present, sounding their sirens in order to monitor. 8VLR067, 7MAC 668, 8HDF 241, 8JUD 954, 8TDJ 314. Can't really see that one. License 7BJ Z474, 5 JHG 534, 7VAA 975, 6 AQA 383. It is 9:44 p.m. Crossing a path, light activity, audible activity creation, 8ATK 645. State planted directly above 150 East Holt. Let me show you. I'm going to give video of that too. This is the state directly over 150 East Holt as I'm reciting license plate to third parties that are patrolling. P.O.C. License plate 8PUJ981, 8BGN736, 7ECA-D21. Audible activity. Listen. Plane that comes out of the blue. I just took a picture of what was directly above 150 East Holt. And this larger plane comes out of nowhere. It was already present. Be clear on that. It wasn't flying in the distance. It was already present. And the state is amplifying that audible activity while its vicarious actor, the people of the state, are patrolling around on the ground. More direct evidence against the people of the state. Acting with license plate 289TPY, which is or is not an actual license plate of that African American driving that vehicle. This is, let's see. Oh, very targeted. The plane flies right over my head as I'm standing at the intersection. 7DTY750. 7WTT736. Crossing a path by third-party group stalker on their bike. Same conduct. Understand that. Crossing path, walking on the opposite side of the street. They're crossing a path on foot. All right. This is demonic activity. I'm letting you know. This is all monitoring and all the ways they engage in. None other than relevant positioning. License plate 33923F1. 8RSW382, 7WMF479, 6R58454. All right, group stalking sitting on the side of the street. Headlights faced in my direction. That's P.O.C. I just took a picture of that. That's light activity creation. Okay. It is 9:50 8:46 p.m. License plate 8AFZ. Can't see the rest of that one. Oh, and these third parties are loitering at the business of what is in between the Verizon and the Bally Spa. They're just standing on the sidewalk. Now this third party moves. Understand this is directed light while this third party's headlights are aimed in my direction. That is P.O.C, by the way, acting in concert with the state that aims directed light, acting in concert with third parties. Okay, it's supposed to be headlights that are reaching that length. 7Y8K905 0807 1Y1. Eight CVU 679, 8 CVU 680, 8 SFS 251, 7 YIS 368, 8 BFL 344, 5. I can't really see that one. 5. Oh, I can't really see that one either. See, directed light moving all about in this intersection while they're in relevant position. And there's a helicopter. Monitoring with license plate 7CPX 834. BNU 3154 as the helicopter flies over the intersection. I'll go ahead and show you that. There you go. P.O.C. Who's monitoring with them? Oh, no plates on that truck that was aiming headlights. Okay, not a coincidence. License plate 8FIV217. It is, again, very targeted where the state is flying. Very, very targeted. Here you go. I did get video and picture of that. That's a helicopter over the intersection. Not over the museum, by the way, where I am. Usually 7 BBH 106. Over the intersection because that's where I'm at. I've already pointed this out. This is what the people of the state are engaged in. 7WZH499 33164C3. License plate 8LFG465 7VBW742. It is 9:49 p.m. Western Express is the logo on this commercial-sized truck that is sitting, creating in relevant position, creating light activity. 6WZH499 while the helicopter is flying over. That is proceeding east on Holt Boulevard. 7TKP41, substantially similar. Can't really see that one. Oh, that's not of the truck. That was of a third party. But I didn't get the whole plate. You can scratch that one. 7XMW840. 8 USN993. 8 TDW 611, 7XGR 959, 7UYX 457 or 451, 2ZNH 471. The state flying in circles. 8LGO 14, substantially similar. Amazon Prime and 8MY. I can't really see the rest of that one. License 7VAA 975. 8 TBZ 915. Want to be clear, it is 9:50 p.m. in Amazon Prime going out of its way to engage in P.O.C. 6SMP 921. Helicopter is flying around over this intersection. 8AYM 928. That's speaking to the prosecution that third-party commercial actor shall face. It is license plate. Let's see. 6RNY. Can't really see the rest of that one. Scratch. 8EGB812, substantially similar. Let's see. 8JQX768. 53487A3. Okay, it is currently 9:51 p.m. The minions just patrols. I'm just going to name as many minions as possible. Again, I already read that license plate. Minion with license 5BWH727, 8TOF753. No more minions in this lane, okay? Let's get these minions over here. The minion, that is the state, Acting with these minions, aiming light onto the brick wall in front of me. 5 HAP 514, 7 DUU 234, 8 TTE 436, 8 UZY 622, 4NC 3282 of that large truck, 8 PVS 528. And that license plate on the truck was on the back of that license plate. I've seen where they have more than one license plate on the truck. But that was the back license plate. Group stalkers sitting on the side of Euclid Avenue. This is group stalking. Creating light activity. 6GFT432, 7NMF855. And Minion license plate 96733T2. Sitting on the side of the street, using their vehicle as a means of light activity. Okay? They're all doing the same thing, a different face doing the same thing, maintaining light and loitering in relevant positions. 7YWY 664. 7UHT 760. License 8 JTB 831. Let's see, license plate. It's currently 9:53 p.m. Seven HSV 681. 98686B2, I believe. All right, Minion, license plate. 8 TIJ 655. Minion, license plate 8SNN074. 8JCA 125. 8 DVC 820. 79144C2. 7NTW 313. BNBX 414, I believe, substantially similar to that. Can't really see it that clearly. It's 9:54 p.m. And again, I'm at the intersection of Euclid and HOLT. I'm just taking down the names of the same actors, the people of the state. I'm just identifying some of them. 7LNG020. Minions are numerous, okay? But it's one actor. It's group conduct. So you're just naming those in the group. Many as you can. This is license plate 6C ZT055. 8 APB 495, 7W14938. License plate 7 UFR 742. Minion, license 6UWP 850. Six RDP 220. 8 BKU 357, I believe. 6 PWJ 643. 7 ZXS 870. 8 SJC 208, 8 FGU 338, I believe, 8 UBZ 138, 7 R33 212, 8 FON 724. It's 9:55 p.m. Audible activity creation 6EDX 396. All right, Minion, 5GK D004, 8NCU454, Minion, 5GUJ607. All right. License RTD 3199 1515458. That's California Zip, City of Ontario, using a white van to cross path and create light activity. That is the city of Ontario going out of their way to engage in the P.O.C. License plate. 7RFS 489. License 8G. I can't really see the rest of that one. WCG BOYS. It is currently 9:57 p.m. All right, Minion. 8PKV 083. 7AJN 604. 6GZD 721. 7FGA 379, I believe. All right, state maintaining presence over here, concentrating on where I'm at. I'll go ahead and show you that. All right, this is what I'm referencing on the podcast. That's the helicopter, just maintaining, flying around while I'm documenting. 6CWA 230. 6ZYH 903. That's audible activity of the helicopter, flying right over the intersection where I'm standing. 7JGX 040. 8TOG 335. 8NPS 383. 7ZYY172. Now that's the state directly and the state vicariously creating activity, both audible and light activity. The state's always aiming directed light. Third parties are creating light activity with their headlights while they're patrolling in traffic. And I want to be clear, while I'm at the museum and they're patrolling, this is light activity around my perimeter. They're engaging in ongoing activity creation. And it is documented as of record on the traffic cameras, which is for my purposes of prosecution as well as theirs for monitoring. The state controls the traffic lights. The state monitors using traffic cameras, surveillance cameras. It is a device for monitoring for criminal conduct by the state. It is 5EDK125 license. I can't really see that one. Alrighty, I'm about to go get this minion over here. Group stalking, sitting in relevant position. This is very common conduct. I just want to get this license plate. I just had to get it. This is license 7EON038. Just group stalking, sitting in their car. This is P.O.C. This is what third parties do. Group stalking using their vehicles as a means of light activity in relevant position. Group stalking, sitting in their car. P.O.C. All right, I did just capture video of that. License plate 5GYA743. License plate 92187N2. Let's get these. C. Audible activity. And it's deliberate where the state's monitoring. 7TEZ 909. Now you deserve this prosecution. Go ahead, get your worth it. Get it in. Get it in. 7VJN222. Now he just earned that prosecution that he's getting. You might as well do it if I documented you. All right, and I documented you. So you better rev like you never revved before. Make it worth it. But it's not. Believe me, they have not seen the likes of what is coming, federally speaking. Good luck. This is so sad. Guess what? I'm going to name the other third parties part of the same group that are monitoring to that activity. License plate 88162D3. 6HXA607. Group stalker on a bike on the traffic camera. You'll see that creating light activity. Has multiple shadows while he's riding past me on the bike. 6LTU 721. Krispy Kreme, as I documented, Stater Brothers monitoring. Crossing path. 6ZYJ 272. 6HVK. Can't really see the rest of that. I want to say 306. Documented 8RGT 586. I can't really see that one. Directed light, not their headlights that bright. 6VBW 434. 12317B3 AIC, California 376176. It's a commercial vehicle engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. And they're all touching with light. While the state is aiming directed light, they're all touching together. This is sexual violence that I'm also documenting. This is 6LMN595. They're all touching together. Imagine a ginormous orgy that you did not want to participate in, didn't invite anybody to come, and you are the subject, all right? That's what they're engaged in. 8CRT066. SAMM. Can't really see that one. You can scratch that. Let's see. 6KQA692. License. Can't really see no license on the front of that car. It is currently 10:02, and you've got the same conduct by a different vehicle now on HOLT Boulevard. Will now be seen in motion proceeding west on HOLT Boulevard with the blinkers on. Large trucks, 4UXX. I can't really see the rest of that plate. That's light activity. That's exactly the video of the third-party group stalker over here doing the same thing. The same thing with the third party over here besides Zolo's Birreria. Doing the same thing. License 6, yeah, KQA692, that's correct, I read that one. 7BIF174. Is that clean street engaging in P.O.C? Yeah, loitering in relevant position. Resumes movement as I mentioned them, okay? This is the commercial actor engaging in the P.O.C. Under the guise of cleaning the street. Guess what? Cleaning the street while the state's flying around in circles in a helicopter. It's the same criminal pattern of conduct. 8UGZ484, I believe. Substantially similar. License 5SJT059. Let me get you this, because they were sitting stationary. The moment I began speaking about them, they resumed movement. Okay? 8UQB315. All right, that's a psychopath. Helicopter is on my right, clean street on my left. Okay? Acting with every other third party. 8TKM446. Clean street creating audible activity. Clean street creating light activity. All right? Clean street engaged in sexual violence, molesting my person while they are monitoring with the state and facilitating the state and third party's ability to monitor me. That's clean street. It's clean street. Okay? That's a third party facilitator, a commercial actor. 6RML477. 6TLK615, 8TGJ419, 8UJJ276, 3XVP465, 8HAX519, 7E, let's see, KP845, 5SDE163. License of Clean Street is 7XYW238. California U.S.160691. Okay, that's 160691. California U.S. Creating light activity using that vehicle. Okay, P.O.C. Group stalking in the same way that a third party does in their individual cars using a commercial vehicle to do the exact same thing. It is license plate Minion 8TKM446. Minion 7RXR015, Minion 5 SQD888. License of this Minion 8DEA293, 7SNC688, BH30E15 paper set 4AVN826. Currently 10:05 p.m. And also relevant context, the state remaining planted in the sky directly over again, 150 East HOLT, and in that position while Clean Street was maintaining light activity on my side and still doing so as it is slowly driving on this side of the street that I'm on. That's the state, license plate, 7GTN433, 6DYF731, 8UVB423, 8TSD96, substantially similar. Can't really see that one. License plate 8JXJ867. Let me get you the state right here. 8FXZ189139, potentially somewhere. All right. And so you have the state that is surrounding me in these vehicles. This is the state that's meandering around in cars, creating light activity. 8TAP087, 8TAP077. And again, 8JXJ867 right here next to me. The state is aiming directed light in addition to their headlights, while the state's flying directly over the absence of coincidence in an airplane. And they're concentrating over this location where I am at, okay? That is very targeted in every way. Targeted in their physical location, very targeted in the light, all right? That minion, go ahead, get it in, because you're going to be prosecuted. Get it in. This is the ongoing documentation of minions. Here we go. I want to get this license plate. 7CAV178, 8TQM329. All right, so let me give you some context about how demons work. This furious demonic entity that's operating amongst the people and operating over a government. As you're listening to the audible activity that's created, just like I demonstrated with the nurse that was group stalking under the fake sun as I stood at transit, and she uses her car alarm after she already exited and locked her cars as I was crossing the street. Not only was that audible activity, 7SXL617, 8AGN394, 6PXJ394, 6YJA353. Not only was that audible activity, she does it that was stalking with activity specifically, using audible activity in that regard, but it is also a communication of hostility as a psychopath listen to me document, 8RLR427, 7YOF011. That's what that third party did as he revs off his engine. It's 8UZB096. This is Satan, okay, communicating that hostility through literally the minions as I'm documenting them, okay? They are hearing me saying, get it in while you're being documented. They're listening to all that. They're listening to everything that I'm saying, and it's a communication of hostility. This is Satan that is operating, that's communicating through the very conduct, which is monitoring, okay? I want to give you context of what he's doing. This is demonic activity. RC, US.2722082. License plate. No back license plate, but I got that US dot number. License plate 6WJV290. State creating light activity at the opposite end of Holt Boulevard at Holt and Sultana. That's P.O.C. This is 5UJX009, 7YTM108. I'm sorry, I missed that one. Let's see. Come along. It is currently 10:09 p.m. MBP273, Minion, 7JLD 470, Minion. Let's see, helicopter just flying around in circles while they're creating light activity all around. P.O.C. Minion 7RAV814, Minion 3LAW611, 8JIN672, 6NVX476. 5UOV46, substantially similar. Can't really see that one that clearly. All right, and I just want to be clear, the state's just flying in a circle around. I'm showing you over 150 East Holt, just flying around in a broad circle over the perimeter of where I'm located. 639BG. That's a handicap plate, a minion. He's about 3 steps away from hell, too. Old as heck, monitoring, engaging in a satanic system. He's about 3 steps away from the pits of hell. This is audible activity. Who's monitoring with him? 8VRP228. License plate. ARTOS79. In the same way that the state will pull out any sort of commercial and or private actor to create light activity, audible activity, they are intentionally using their vehicles, which is supposed to be the guise under which activity is created. They are intentionally present, intentionally creating this activity under, again, the fact pattern of a state engaging in monitoring, which is already established. So you can pull out your motorcycle, you can pull out your old loud classic cars, you're monitoring. 6MVU356. Regardless of whether you bought that car in that condition or not, you're intentionally present, monitoring, and on behalf of that, say 8SFE595. License plate 8PHB782, 8TSN901. Minion, license plate 7KYS673, 7ASX005, 8VGD282. Touching while engaging in relevant positioning, 5MPR375, and directed light. You want to know how I saw the directed light? It appeared all over his face. It wasn't his headlights appearing on his face. As he turned the corner, as he already passed me, his face was lit up with white light. The state is aiming light. 7MSA 495. APKN 61. 8PKN 061. Minion. It is currently 10:12 p.m. SYS 107. 8GH, I can't really see that one. 7WKV 659. 7V 27204. It is currently 10:12 p.m. Alrighty. License plate 8VRK 119. Can we see that one on clearly? I want to show you what again. This is the state again. It's just remaining present via aircraft. It's not going nowhere. Just patrolling, just like they are patrolling in traffic. And a helicopter is behind me. Notice how it starts sounding the moment that I tell you about this plane over here on my right. It was remaining stationary in the sky. Okay, and there is the helicopter over there. Coming in and out of audible, all right? Minion. 5TNJ 874. All right, the state keeping that plane stationary while I'm standing here, 6YXR 097, and then as I mention it, the absence of coincidence, the helicopter starts audibly flying. The state, I told you the helicopter is continuously flying over, creates audible activity. The state would rather me also focus on the planes rather than these minions down here. 7WFL 761. 3GVJ 540. This is speaking to what the people of the state of California are engaged in. While the state is super uber concerned about me stalking in planes and helicopters, the people of the state are acting to that end as well, vicariously on behalf of that entity. That's P.O.C. All right. License plate 8UYG076 85414B2 8DXK514 6. I'm sorry, I missed that one. 5NQK996. 8RTW. Didn't really see the rest of that one. That's a BMW that's proceeding south on Euclid Avenue. 8A31773 and 7JBP154. 8SMB. All right. 8SBMB 72. 7D R 456. 7DRD 456, I believe. Substantially similar. I can't really see all the characters on there. It is currently 10:15 though. So I'm just down here giving you a close-up of the actor, that is the people of the state, while the state does this, flying over me at the museum. 5XFN254. And this is 7VGC296, 7BTW931. 7PFL905, 8MLF109. All right, this is what the state is doing because I'm at the intersection, not at the museum. The state is concentrating and flying around the perimeter of this intersection as opposed to flying directly over me at the museum. All right, and this is what the state does on a nightly basis where I remain, which is surveillance. The people of the state engaged in surveillance, like I said. I already read these license plates. License 8RYK 477. 5NUJ. I can't really see that one. Let's see. License 8JVA 915. $8K97246. It's a white pickup truck. proceeding south on Euclid Avenue. 5LNW839. 7PLA 432. 8CKH113. BMR 273. That's out of state license plate. That's audible activity while they're patrolling with light activity. That's the train. 4ENEN20. 8UJD210. 6WJV290. 7GH845. 7GHJ845, I believe. 6KUE792. Omnitrans engaged in relevant positioning and light activity creation. The state is creating that audible activity in the background. The state is aiming directed light. The state is also stalking via aircraft over this intersection. And the state acting vicariously. All of this is light activity as I'm documenting third parties. 8TWH008. All right. 8PQT900. And I want to be clear, as I'm standing in the center, the meridian of this intersection, reading license plates, my shadow appearing on the license plates of the vehicles. Their headlights are aiming light outward. How would my shadow be appearing? Because the state is directing light. 8FNA667. 8VAX143. This is 5SKU490, substantially similar. And where you are in relevant position creating any activity, that is your federal prosecution, and a very intense one. That is license plate Minion 7EIR678. I can't really see that one. Let's see. 6ELG109. 5CCX. Can't really see that one. Let's see. I want to say this is license GMATITA. License 6A2. Can't really see that one. 8NGX063. 6E93109. 7ZPR953. 8H83560. 6UYM63, I believe. AX98A62. That's a paper plate. And I read that license plate already. It is currently 10:19 p.m. 8SJX211. 6ALG194. 6779482, I believe. 8J. I'm sorry. You can scratch that one. I can't really see that one. 7GLU795. 5UAV128. As they are driving west on Holt Boulevard, coming from Vine Avenue on my left side, so I'm facing north. They're proceeding west on Holt, coming toward me. The state is aiming light onto the buildings while they're proceeding. I already read the license plate. That's directed light as well, ongoing direct evidence of what they're doing. This is 8RJM511. Minion 58656T2 AAA. Monitoring in a private space while I was at Economy Inn under the state's fake sun, which was at that time over the parking lot, right? Aiming its directed light all over the property. Third parties just bathing in that directed light in relevant position, nowhere near impossible to coexist with being over what is in front of the entrance doors at the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, and then remaining aiming its fake light all over that property, the City Hall, Laverne Law School, behind the building, all right, and then appearing and disappearing, including grocery outlet 52782E1, 6JKD122, 7PPA126, 7YCP777. Amtrak, engaging in using a bus to cross path. This is a license plate 8BHA781, 5UNV051. It's currently state still patrolling, flying around the perimeter. It's 10:21 p.m. And like I said, that's Satan flying that helicopter in a circle. That's a psychopath. That's Satan operating over a human being. 8EWL332, and that human being represents the state engaging in a satanic criminal monitoring system. That is 8TG. I can't really see the rest of that. I want to say 429, but I didn't really see that. You can scratch that. Let's see. Can we see that plate? 4LDX 064, I believe. Substantially similar. Let's see, 5PFR 629. Ontario Police driving west on HOLT, then proceeding north on Euclid Avenue, which will be seen on the traffic cameras. Who is here with me? I already read that license plate, 5PFR629, monitoring with the Ontario Police, and the state is literally flying back and forth in a helicopter, okay? Ontario Police definitely monitoring with 6MTR181, 6ETP200, 8MUA089, 8TWW962, 8TYT291, 8PNZ 694, AC21L92, and molesting with light while turning the corner to turn onto Euclid from Holt Boulevard. And again, that's the state directing light while they are crossing a path. That's concerted conduct. That's sexual violence of the people. 5Y24152, 4LTB 396, 5DTL796. All right, you got Satan flying the helicopter at the street of, relative to the street over Sultana, going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. License 6HSY589. That's Satan, all right? That's the demonic pacing back and forth, doing it in a helicopter. That's a psychopath, all right? Monitoring. License plate 7YW, can't really see the rest of that one. 7CVS030. And this is Satan as well. I'm just naming as many minions as possible. This is Satan. This is demonic. License plate 7TXX024. Minion 7XOU882. Minion. Let's see. License 8BHH155, 8GLB642. License, I'll get that one when they pass. License plate 8Z, can't really see that one. 4YGP404, 7ZQB467. And it is currently 10:24 p.m. I want to show you, this is blinding light. This is third-party conduct acting in concert with the state. That is the state patrolling back and forth in a helicopter, flying back and forth. 8RYT6, I'm sorry, I can't really see that one. 5LW, can't really see that one either. This is P.O.C. though. It is currently 10:25 p.m. and the state's flying back and forth in a helicopter. All right? Let me get that one. No light. Acting with the state to blind with headlights. These are the tactics of the entity that's monitoring, all right? And touching while doing so. And guess what? The same actor, I'm going to get their license plate as well. Who's next? Because it's the same actor with a different license plate. This is license 8AJX780. Sex offender. Touching. Not getting away with anything. Just like when I left Economy Inn, you know how many license plates I got? They weren't getting away with anything monitoring while I was inside of that hotel room, and nobody's escaping anything. They're going to be thoroughly prosecuted. Let's see. The state's going to be prosecuted for this demonic conduct, this psychopath. They're going to be put in straitjackets, flying back and forth, left and right and left and right and left and right. That's a communication of impermissible threat, while you're also sexually violating my person, acting in concert with the people of the state, facilitating that group conduct as I continue to identify third parties of that group. 4 BRB 335, 50802H1, 6 VZP 911. It's 10:26 p.m. License plate 8NJN 681. License 5ZYX116. License 7MSW826. License plate 8BDK445. Sorry. License plate 8DTS137 780YH. That's a handicap plate. It's 10:27 p.m. and the state continues to patrol in helicopter. Again, that was going left and right, so that's flying east and west over the Sultana, parallel to Sultana. Ontario Police right now driving east and then turning onto Euclid. 6JMD168, 70AA899. All right, and that will be seen on the traffic cameras, and this is what they're doing every single night. I happen to be standing at the intersection where I'm at the museum. Ontario Police, like I'm telling you, they're crossing path and driving around. They're not going anywhere. Those are psychopaths. That's Satan driving that police vehicle, engaging and listening to every word that I'm saying. 6NHB161, license 7TED615, license 6XHU228, and engaging and doing nothing literally other than driving in circles, taking turns, crossing path visually, and also wanting to be a distraction from naming these minions that are monitoring with the state. I just want to be clear that this is demonic conduct. Like I've already stated, this is literally Satan as I'm documenting and prosecuting him. 8SZY, I can't really see that one. AW91M96, I believe that's a paper plate. So like I'm reading and telling you, Ontario Police, this is what they're doing every night, using their sirens, Ontario Fire Department using their sirens and surrounding with the helicopter and the planes. I'm literally giving you a recitation of what's occurring, flying in circles. This is what the state does every single night. There is no question about what the people of the state are doing in concert with that state. All right. And as much as the state is concerned about me and stalking and following where I am, the people of the state, as I have also shown, are engaged in the same. 6ELA823. They are stalkers, and that is Satan operating over them, because it's a satanic root. All right, this is demented group conduct. All right, there's a helicopter. We've got monitoring. Took a screenshot of that. Recording failed. No recording failure. That's monitoring conduct. P.O.C. while the psychopath is flying back and forth now over the museum. In no way conflicting with or contradicting what I just stated was the case, focused on the intersection. You're still in relevant position, first of all, but understand that's the pattern, trying to contradict what they're listening to me document their criminal conduct. The state was flying in relevant position over Sultana and over the intersection in the circle BKJOM21. That's a paper plate. And again, pressing record on my phone, and it says warning, recording failure. Again, that's monitoring on the phone. That's the monitoring. That's the result of what they're engaging in. Okay, there's no failure on my phone, like I stated. It is 10:30 p.m. And that is. Go ahead and get that again. Screenshot of another active monitoring on my phone. License 5X50072. Monitoring with the state. All right, I did take screenshots of that. That's exactly what they're engaging in while you're experiencing monitoring conduct on your phone, on your communication device. That is direct evidence of what you happen to be documenting. It's 10:30 p.m. That is the state flying in helicopter. Blocking the ability to record on one phone. I'm recording on this phone. And there is no malfunction. The state was flying over the roof of the museum, and it's still here behind the trees. Monitoring with the third parties as I'm documenting their license plates. It's P.O.C. and he was flying over here, he or she. The state was flying over. That's literally Satan flying back and forth over here. Now flying over here and monitoring on my phone. Okay, it is. I just took a video on my other phone. It's 10:31 p.m. Who's monitoring with the psychopath that's flying over the museum? License 065SN, handicap. That's a Latino male driving a red pickup truck. Proceeds from Euclid and goes west on Holt Boulevard. It is 10:31 p.m. They all have a handicap of the spirit. 7HCN 884. There you go. It's another plane while the state is flying over by helicopter. P.O.C. Light activity by the group stalker on the sidewalk with a blinking bike. A blinking light on his bike. It's P.O.C. 6SMF 924. And again, engaging in group stalking conduct does not help the people of the state, okay? Because they're surely being prosecuted. And it also is no contradiction while you're in relevant position. The state that has no argument literally tries to pick and choose and chop at something that it can, and it cannot. 8JUV254. JOB7 likes to group stalk at Ontario Town Square, crossing path right now. 23193Y2. License plate of this group stalker, monitoring, adding light while the state flies directly over an airplane, while the state is flying in circles, demonstrating that it is a psychopath, and so is this third party, 6AAH687. This is demonic group conduct. It's criminal monitoring. Relevant positioning, light activity. That is the P.O.C. And while I happen to be surrounded by the minions, the pop-up on the phone saying warning recording failure. There is no recording failure. That is monitoring. That's a result of monitoring. 5WRJ14, substantially similar. Can't really get that one. 8PCH976. 8DWB138. 8TCS528. All right, so what I've got is more third parties documented acting while the state is also engaging in directed light stalking and plane and helicopter. 8UQM688, I can't really see that one. 5SQL517, 7PMM154. Minion 8TPA145, 7TRX110. And that's what you walk away with. Ongoing evidence of the state stalking from place to place, by the way, and this place where I'm at now, while I am documenting third parties in relevant position and activity creation. 8VES665, 8TGJ412, 8VFK129, license 76474S1. That's helicopter activity, and they're aiming lights. This is P.O.C. License plate 7DHC968. All right, third party in the far right lane is reversing in the lane and going into the turning lane. That is also remaining in relevant position, just evasion of being documented by license plate. You can say that. While the helicopter is creating audible activity, he's still monitoring. And this is license plate BK79L72, paper, 5FPK984. Let's see, 7HNG578, 8LWK206, 5HFW 26. Can't really see the rest of that one. That's a Honda Accord going east on Holt Boulevard. It's currently 10:35 p.m. The Escalade going from Holt, 6HNY 893. Can't really see that last character. Proceeding east on Holt and then turning north on Euclid. All right, we've got, I already read this license plate. 8TAP145, crossing path again. 7LRR143, 5RLM089. 8KPC 756, Village Patrol 1458 2F2, 8VMJ 550, 7HNC 654, 7WHS 989, 8R29 927, 8NEF 079. All right, sex offender, Minion 7CMY 304. All right, sex offender, 7LZJ, 529, Minion. 10:36 p.m. Sex offender, 8PQT900, Minion. (5P) IR775 7XGR. Can't really see the rest of that one. All right. 8KLC 039. It's essentially similar. (7WJG 975 sex offender). That's a paper plate. Can't really see that one. Sex offender. License plate. Can't really see that one. All right. Let's get some more sex offenders. Let's get them more. Let's get them. Come on. Very violent, exceedingly violent, threatening sex offender. 8RPV838. If not an American citizen, worthy of being deported promptly upon federal prosecution. 46366M2, sex offender. 7UGV312, minion. 7UIJ493, sex offending minions. Let's get some more. Sex offenders need to be prosecuted very intensely. 7XYC380, 6AWD638, 6BSV913, 7SIY097. That includes Ontario Police Department, okay, which goes without saying, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. They are sex offenders the same, engaging in the same criminal conduct that I'm documenting third parties. Sex offender 7 DCA 451. Ontario Police Department is readily identifiable. This is the state engaging in the pattern of conduct and criminal facilitation, kidnapping, sexual violence while they are monitoring, and engaging in criminal facilitation of sexual violence. 8UGY 541. I believe that's Guarda, Guarda. That's a commercial vehicle. Sex offender, using a commercial means to engage in the state's sexually violent group conduct of monitoring with communication devices. License ALSONIA, sex offender. License 6GYD 469. Yeah, that's a sex offender. That's a minion. This is license 8PIL258, sex offender. This is license 8U62253, 7LMK305, sex offender, minion, psychopath, stalker. All right. This is. I'll get this one. It's currently 10:39 p.m. What is done in the darkness always comes to light. This is a sex offender, 98446K2, Arrow Towing, used a commercial vehicle to monitor. 7TPP 373, 6LRV050, 23193Y2. This is a sex offender. This is sexual violence based on the nature of the crime of monitoring. And who's monitoring with it? Sex offender. License 6ADX776. All right, they're all molesting and touching together with their activity and their light while they are engaging in that ongoing threatening conduct of group stalking and determination to continue it. 7LON077 and acting in concert on behalf of the government. It doesn't get any more threatening and violent than that. All right. Touching while you're doing so, all right? Molesting, violating, and systematically so. And then adding on to that, which is all a means of criminal conduct, that is the P.O.C, and it is sexual violence, group violence. All right, 10:41 p.m. I just want to button up with the rest of these. I want to get a few more sex offenders before let me go over here. As soon as I cross the street, the state sounds the sound of a train, okay? That's supposed to be the sound of fireworks. 5RHH992, 5ZCT554. Honking the horn is audible activity. 7VJZ142, 8UJY892. That's the conduct that the state engages in. 7KXL042. All of them proceeding to drive west on HOLT 1 proceeding, 2 proceeding south on Euclid Avenue. And again, with simultaneity to my change in activity, 7 WVB 220. As I cross the street, the state sounds what is audible activity, the sound of a train, stalking with activity. The state uses that very commonly because I'm at the museum. All right. But also where I'm nowhere near train tracks, the state uses that same method of activity creation at the same volume, by the way. All right. Which is impossible. Speaking to what the people are engaged in. You're creating that audible activity. You're stalking with light because you're monitoring. This one again, 065SN. He's going to be deported if he's not an American citizen. He's a sex offender and a psychopath. While the state is sounding train activity that's coming from HOLT, I'm looking at the train tracks right here behind me. There is no train. That is the state traveling around with sound, okay? Moving sound around, targeting sound, just like it did inside of the private space. 7 PNB 822. Just like it did inside of the private space of Economy Inn. The state also using the sound of train activity inside of the private space at Mayfair Inn. The state also using the sound of a train inside of the private space of Woodside Senior Apartments number 51. Nowhere near possible ever occurring inside. This is the means of activity creation and stalking with activity, like I've told you the state engages in. CANDY 20 sex offender 5 U.S.V 018 sex offender. All right. Sex offender 6YJC 222 8 UFX 278 sex offenders. All right. P.O.C. That's an excellent demonstration of what Satan is engaged in through the people of the state. Satan cares not about human rights or constitutional rights, operating through a group of people who are engaged in an unprecedented level of criminal conduct that is monitoring with communication devices in violation of existing federal law. 7ZDP 193, sex offender, minion. 8SJD 020, sex offender, minion, psychopath. Stalker, all right? And this is direct evidence of what was the state engaging in that ongoing, this is of record, stalking again with planes and helicopters and the police and creating activity around me with directed light. This is the state acting in concert with the people who are maintaining presence. This is the state that is also engaged in amplification of audible activity, all right? Group stalker, psychopath, sex offender coming from transit. Let's get this license plate. This is 1 Heart LAKNG. All right, coming from the back street and trying to speed off. It's P.O.C. I want you to see what sex offenders look like. Coming from the back street of transit. Meeting me as I'm walking down the street. That's what group stalkers do. That's a pattern of conduct. It's group stalking in your car. She's just in motion. All right. Again, like I was stating, this state engaging in all manner of direct evidence against the people of the state, as I have named them tonight, yet again. This is what Satan is up to, especially as I remain at the museum. Engaging in this, I just stepped out so I can identify the people. I have identified plenty already, but they can't get enough. And I was born to do this, so I'll prosecute as many, because it's literally, I'm going to be the Oprah Winfrey of federal prosecutions. One for you, 7TRX 110, crossing path again. One for you, sex offender, license plate, 8UZY072. One for you, 7ERD 213, license plate. Let's see, where are we at? 7GEX 995. What's that, JB Hunt and Amazon Prime? All right. This is license plate BSXD 024. Okay, that's nothing other than the state using a large-size commercial truck, putting an Amazon Prime trailer on it, driven by JB Hunt, which is on the logo on the front of the truck. Understand this is under facts of what is federal group stalking and monitoring by a public entity. And based on the nature of the crime, third parties are maintaining real-time knowledge of everything you're documenting. And every logo that you are demonstrating, engaging in representing your identity, that is exactly what the intent is while you're monitoring and aware of the fact that you're being documented, and that's going to be attributed to that company. That's what Amazon Prime did with Hertz, and intentionally so, all right? While they engage in what is the demonic group conduct, you have Amazon Prime showing up in a gang, demonstrating a threat, engaged in sexual violence, and acting as the gang that it is. That's demonic conduct, by the way, operating under a commercial brand. All
All right, the people of the state operating under that demonic influence doing nothing but driving Amazon Prime vehicles. License plate 6YFP057. All right, and that's how the people of the state engage in P.O.C. Okay, so your brand, your company shall be associated with that. It's the means whereby no target individual has to sit up and decipher what sort of a vehicle or what they were. If it's being associated, if you don't want your brand, if you don't want your company associated with it, then I suggest you stay clear from it and understand where the state is monitoring. They are governing every single aspect, everything you see, everything that you are hearing, everything in your environment. That's intentional conduct, and that company will be included in that as an actor, all right, the guise under which the state is monitoring you, all right, and it is intentional conduct. And at that juncture, that is when that commercial actor will regret it then. There is no argument. Everything that is seen, everything in your presence is intentional. It is in no way any argument for stating, well, it's inaccurate to no, it's not. You're monitoring, you're intentionally engaging the criminal elements of monitoring, you're documented as engaging in it under that form, and that's going to be associated with it. Period. It is 10:48 p.m. And that is P.O.C.